The film begins with one of the greatest and most powerful wizards of all time, and his name is Dumbledore. We learn that he is the headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. We see him standing alone in the street, and he uses a magical device with him. He pulls the lights from the street so that no one notices his presence. At that time, a small cat stops in front of him, so Dumbledore says to this cat that he did not know that she was coming after him. Suddenly, this cat transforms into a woman named Minerva. We learn that she is a powerful witch too, and she teaches the subject of transfiguration at the school and deputy headmistress of Hogwarts School. She is also an animagus, meaning she can transform into a cat, as we saw a little while ago. She asks him from Minerva about the infant named Harry Potter, so he tells her that he is with Hagrid and they are on their way. After moments, Hagrid arrives at them, and he is carrying Harry Potter in his arms. We learn that Hagrid is half human and half giant because his father was a wizard and his mother from the giants. He is the keeper of keys and grounds of Hogwarts and a very kind person and pure-hearted, but he does not always make correct decisions. He loves magical creatures and the one with the biggest heart, and everyone loves him. We learn that Harry Potter's father and mother were killed by an evil wizard named Voldemort, and currently he has become an orphan and has no one. So Dumbledore leaves Harry in front of his aunt's house and tells him before he leaves that he will be the greatest wizard of all time. After the passage of 11 years, Harry grows up in his Aunt Petunia's house and her husband Vernon's and their spoiled son Dudley's. Literally, Harry is treated as if he is a servant with them, and also he sleeps in a cupboard under the stairs. But despite all that, Harry is a psychologically normal child and content with the situation he is in very much. Besides that, he is sensible and intelligent and does not like problems. On that day, Harry's family goes to visit the zoo, and they take Harry with them. Dudley keeps annoying the snake and scaring it, so Harry asks him not to do that. So Dudley leaves it and walks away, and Harry keeps apologizing to the snake for his cousin's actions. Suddenly, the snake speaks to Harry, and Harry is not comprehending what is happening. It turns out here that Harry understands the language of snakes and can speak with them. Suddenly, Dudley comes and pushes Harry to the ground and approaches the snake to look at it. But suddenly, the glass that separates between him and the snake disappears. Of course, Dudley is terrified, unlike Harry, who is surprised, and the snake exits from the cage it was imprisoned in. Before it leaves, it thanks Harry. At the end of the day, Harry's family returns home, and they are angry, and they blame Harry for what happened. They keep yelling at him, and also they lock him in the cupboard under the stairs. But the next day, Harry starts receiving many letters from Hogwarts School, but every time a letter arrives, Vernon prevents it from him, and they try to hide the letters from him. But after that, the letters start coming from the window and from under the door and from everywhere. Of course, Vernon goes crazy, so he decides to escape with his whole family, and he takes them in the middle of the ocean in a dilapidated hut, and the sea surrounds them from everywhere. On that night, Harry's age is exactly 11 years, and in a touching moment, he keeps celebrating his birthday alone, and he congratulates himself also because his aunt and her husband never celebrated his birthday. Suddenly, they hear a strong knocking sound on the hut's door, and everyone gets terrified. Suddenly, the door is torn off, and they find Hagrid entering upon them, and he apologizes to them with all innocence for the delay because the road was crowded. So they ask him who he is and why he came here anyway. So he tells them that he is the keeper of keys at Hogwarts and came for Harry. After that, Hagrid looks at Harry like that with emotion and gives him his birthday cake that he made for him himself. So of course, Harry looks at him in astonishment and does not understand anything. So Hagrid explodes the big surprise and tells Harry that he is a wizard like his mother and father, and that the letters that were being sent to him are from Hogwarts School. So they inform him that they chose him to learn magic at their school. After that, Hagrid takes out the letter and tells him that this is an official invitation from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Here, Harry starts to understand that there is another world his family was hiding from him all his life. Of course, Harry is amazed by what is happening and does not believe that he is a wizard. But Vernon and his wife go crazy and start yelling and say that Harry will not go with him anywhere and will not learn magic and this nonsense. So here, Hagrid reaches his limit and gets angry and tells them that they deprived Harry of his past and that it is his right to know the truth. When Dudley starts eating the cake that Hagrid brought, Hagrid starts getting nervous and casts a spell on him, and a tail grows for him. Of course, Vernon and his family are terrified and afraid for their son, unlike Harry, who is dying of laughter. Here, Harry for the first time feels that he is not alone and that he finally found the place he belongs to. The next day, Hagrid takes him to an old pub named the Leaky Cauldron, and the surprise is that as soon as they enter, they find all the people inside the pub know Harry Potter. Also, everyone stands to greet him and welcome him and say among themselves that this is the boy who survived death. Of course, Harry is standing shocked and does not understand why he is famous. After that, Hagrid takes Harry out of the pub and holds the magical wand and starts knocking on a certain brick in the wall. Suddenly, the wall starts moving and opens in a strange way, and a magical street appears named Diagon Alley. This is the street that has everything magical, like magical wands and books and spells, and a place for cauldrons and many other things. After that, Hagrid takes him first to a bank special for magic to withdraw money for him. This bank is a strange place. Inside it, goblins wearing suits and working with very precise calculations. Harry discovers that he has a special account for him, and his account is full to the brim. At this moment, Harry feels for the first time that he does not need anyone to pity him. Also, Hagrid asks one of the goblins to take them to another secret vault, number 713, and this has a very secret thing, and Hagrid takes it in a small bag without explaining to Harry what it is. After that, they arrive at Mr. Ollivander's shop, and this is the place every wizard buys his special magical wand from. After that, Harry enters the shop alone and tells Ollivander that he wants a magical wand. So Ollivander tells him that the wand is the one that chooses its wizard. So Harry starts trying many wands, but there is not a single wand suitable for him until he tries a certain one. Suddenly, it starts shining and flies in the air around him, and thus, this is the suitable wand for Harry. Ollivander is astonished that this wand chose Harry and tells him that this wand has only two to like it. And the first wand is with the person who caused the scar on his forehead and who is Lord Voldemort. Here, Harry gets shocked and does not understand anything. After that, Hagrid takes Harry to a restaurant to eat, and Harry starts asking Hagrid why he does not know anything at all about his father and mother, and why no one told him before that he is a wizard. So, Hagrid tells him that his father and mother were genius wizards, and especially his mother was one of the smartest students at Hogwarts. So Harry asks him who this Voldemort is. So Hagrid tells him that Voldemort is the person who killed his father and mother and tried to kill him. But a miracle happened and the spell bounced back on him. Since then, he has disappeared, and no one knows if he died or not. The scar on Harry's forehead happened when Voldemort threw the spell at him. And since then, all people see Harry as a hero, and this is the reason for his fame. They gave him the title, the Boy Who Lived. After that, Hagrid gives him an owl gift named Hedwig, and of course, Harry is very happy. After that, Hagrid delivers him at the station from which he will travel to Hogwarts, and gives him the ticket he will travel with. Suddenly, he disappears. When Harry looks at the ticket, he is very surprised because it is written on it that his train is at platform number 9 3/4. After that, Harry enters the station, and he is anxious because he cannot find platform 9 3/4. He sees a family in front of him, all their hair red, named the Weasley family, and they consist of the mother Molly Weasley and her children Ron and Fred and George, and also a little girl named Ginny. By chance, Harry hears them saying to each other that they will pass through platform 9 3/4. So Harry goes to ask Molly how to go to platform 9 3/4. So Molly points to him at a wall and asks him to run towards it, and he will find himself arrived at the platform immediately. Of course, Harry is shocked and afraid and takes a deep breath and runs towards the wall. Suddenly, the wall disappears, and he finds himself standing on platform 9 3/4. And there is a huge train in front of him, and its appearance distinctive. So Harry boards the train and searches for an empty place to sit until he finds a place. After that, Ron Weasley comes to sit with him and asks him if he is Harry Potter that all people are talking about. So he tells him that he is indeed Harry and shows him the scar on his head. Here, Ron is amazed. After a while, a student in their year comes to them named Hermione, and she is known to be a genius and in themselves too. She is amazed when she knows that she is sitting with Harry Potter, and they get to know each other for the first time. It is clear that there is strange chemistry between them. At night, the train arrives at Hogwarts, and Hagrid is waiting for them at the station to enter them into the school. When they enter the school, Minerva receives them and welcomes them on their first day at the School of Magic. She tells them that before they start their studies, each one of them will be sorted into one of the 4 houses of Hogwarts. She explains to them that each house has its personality and characteristics, and success in the house brings points, and breaking the rules deducts points. The house that gets the highest number of points will win the cup at the end of the year. After that, she leaves them and walks away. A bullying student named Draco comes to greet Harry, but when Harry notices that he is bullying Ron because he is poor, he refuses to greet him. From this moment, the two of them are enemies. After that, all the students enter the hall so that each one of them wears the magical sorting hat, and this hat is the one that will determine the houses they will be in. The hat chooses that Harry and Ron and Hermione enter Gryffindor House, and chooses Draco and his friends to enter Slytherin. After that, Dumbledore attends for the students a big feast, and they all sit eating with enjoyment. Harry notices that there is a professor sitting looking at him from earlier, and he learns after that this is Professor Snape, head of Slytherin House, and also he is the potions professor. Suddenly, the ghosts who died in this school appear and keep playing and joking with the new students, and it is clear that they are kind ghosts. The next day, Harry and Ron arrive late to Minerva's class. After this class, they enter the potions class with Snape, and throughout the class, Snape is focused on Harry in a strange way, and his looks at him are all suspicious. After that, they go to attend a new class with a professor named Hooch, and this will be a flying class. Hooch will teach them how to fly on the magical broom, and all the brooms are on the ground. She asks them to repeat the spell after her so that the broom comes to them. By mistake, a student named Neville cannot control the broom, and the broom starts flying with him randomly, and he falls to the ground. So quickly, Hooch takes him and transfers him to the hospital. After that, Draco steals something that fell from Neville and flies with the wand. So quickly, Harry flies after him and takes it from him. Minerva saw everything that happened and is amazed by Harry's skill in flying, because this is the first time in his life he flies on the broom, and despite that, he looks very professional. So Minerva takes Harry to the captain of the Quidditch team and tells him that Harry will be the new Seeker on the team. Harry does not understand what a Seeker means, and also does not understand what the Quidditch game means. So his friends explain to him that Quidditch is a magical sport, and this sport is played on broomsticks. There are 2 teams, and each team has 7 players, and each one has a specific role in the game. The Seeker's task is to search for the golden ball named Snitch and catch it. And if the Seeker can catch the Snitch, his team and his house win 150 full points. As soon as the Snitch is caught, the match ends immediately, and this means that the Seeker can change the entire result in a moment. At the end of the day, Harry and Hermione and Ron go up the stairs that will take them to their houses to sleep, but suddenly the stairs start moving with them and take them to the 3rd floor that Dumbledore warned them not to enter. When they enter the 3rd floor, they find in front of them a giant dog with 3 heads. Of course, the 3 of them get terrified and run out. Hermione notices that there was a secret door under the dog, and this means that this dog is in this room to guard a certain thing. The next day in the charms class, Ron fails to cast the spell, so Hermione tells him coldly the correct way to say the spell. After the class, Ron keeps bullying her, and by chance, Hermione hears him and keeps crying. The next day on Halloween night, we see all the students gathered in the hall, and they are celebrating and eating. Suddenly, Professor Quirrell enters upon them, and he is the professor of defense against the dark arts. He tells them that there is a troll in the dungeon, and suddenly he faints. From here, chaos spreads in the place, and the students scatter. But Harry and Ron remember that Hermione was in the bathroom and does not know that there is a troll in the school. So quickly, they run to the bathroom and find the troll indeed in the bathroom, and with him a huge club. Hermione is hiding and terrified, so Harry distracts the troll, and Ron casts the spell on him. Suddenly, the club flies in the air and falls on the troll's head, so it dazes him and he faints. Of course, Hermione is happy and thanks them because they saved her. At this moment, all the teachers arrive at them and are surprised by what they did. Harry notices that Snape's leg is injured, so he expects that he is the one who released the troll to distract them with the troll, and he goes to steal the thing that the 3-headed dog is guarding. The next day, the first Quidditch match begins between Gryffindor team and Slytherin, and they play the match in a huge stadium. All the students are sitting in the stands watching the match. The goal of each player is to put the ball in the goal, but Harry's goal is to find the golden ball. The strange thing is that Harry's broom starts moving randomly, and he cannot control it. Here, Hermione starts feeling that something is not natural because Snape starts repeating a certain spell in secret, and he is looking at Harry. So she understands immediately that he is trying to harm Harry. So quickly, Hermione runs among the stands and goes towards Snape and sets a small fire in a piece of his clothes. Of course, the people get confused, and Snape tries to extinguish the fire. At this moment, Harry's broom returns to work normally again. In the end, Harry can catch the golden ball, and the match ends with the victory of Harry's team, which is Gryffindor. After the match, Harry and Ron and Hermione go to tell Hagrid about what Snape did during the match, so he tells them that it is impossible for him to do something like. So they change the subject and ask him about the three-headed dog. So Hagrid slips up by mistake and tells them that no one can pass the dog unless he plays music for it. Also, he mentions the name of the wizard named Nicholas Flamel. On Christmas night, a gift arrives for Harry from an unknown person, and with it, a card written on it. This gift was your father's. It is time to use it. So Harry opens the gift and finds it is an invisibility cloak, and anyone who wears this cloak disappears. So he decides to wear the cloak and try it, and sneaks into the library to search for anything related to Nicholas Flamel. But suddenly he hears the caretaker's voice. So he exits quickly, and he is wearing the cloak. At that time, he sees Snape standing with Quirrell and threatening him. So Harry sneaks slowly and walks past them until he finds himself inside an empty room. And there is a huge mirror in it written on it. I show you not your reflection, but I show you the greatest desires of your heart. So Harry stands in front of it and looks in it, but he does not see his normal reflection. And he sees his mother and father standing smiling at him and looking at him with love. So he keeps looking at them and does not want to take his eyes off them. Harry calls Ron quickly to show him the reflection of his mother and father in the mirror. But the strange thing is that Ron does not see them, but he sees himself as the captain of the Quidditch team. Once, Harry is sitting in front of the mirror, and suddenly he finds Dumbledore standing behind him and tells him that he knows what he sees in the mirror. He explains to him that this mirror shows him the greatest desire in his heart. But our desires are not always right, because many people lost their minds while sitting in front of this mirror because they see what they will never possess. In the end, he tells him that he will remove this mirror from here so he does not fall into temptation. The next day, Hermione sits with Ron and Harry and tells them that she found out that Nicholas Flamel invented a stone named the Philosopher's Stone, and that he is an old friend of Dumbledore, and no one has seen him for years. This means that this stone is in Hogwarts, and the three-headed dog guards it, and probably Snape wants to reach it. We learn that this stone grants its owner eternal immortality and power, and turns anything into gold. At night, the three of them go to sit with Hagrid in his hut and tell him the information they reached. They notice that Draco is watching them from afar, so quickly they return to the school and learn that Draco reported them to Professor Minerva. So she decides to punish them because they went out at such a late time and deducts 150 points from Gryffindor, and also sentences them to spend the night with Hagrid in the Dark Forest. Also, Draco is punished with them because he was out of his bed at a late time. After that, Hagrid takes the four children to the Forbidden Forest because a unicorn was killed, and he wants to search for who killed it. While they are in the forest, they find a creature whose features are not clear, and it is feeding on the unicorn's blood. Suddenly, this creature approaches Harry to kill him, but before the creature attacks Harry, suddenly a strange creature appears and saves Harry and removes this strange creature from the forest. This creature is named Firenze, and he is one of the creatures half human, half horse. He tells Harry that he should not be here because the person who was sucking the unicorn's blood is Voldemort, and that he has returned again, but in his weakest states, and that he is searching for the Philosopher's Stone to return stronger than before. Of course, Harry gets terrified from the words he hears, because surely Voldemort is returning to kill him. When Harry returns to the school, he tells Ron and Hermione that he is completely sure that Snape wants to take the Philosopher's Stone to give it to Voldemort, and they must reach this stone before him. So the three of them go to the room that has the three-headed dog and find music playing next to it. And the dog is completely asleep and not feeling anything. So they know that someone entered and stole the stone. So quickly, they open the secret room and go down under to see the stone. When they reach under the trapdoor, they face big magical challenges to be able to reach the stone, and they can indeed overcome all the challenges. But they enter a final challenge and enter a huge room full of giant magical chess pieces. To pass, they must participate in the game and be real pieces, meaning they must be parts of the chess. Because Ron is good at chess, he decides to play and sacrifice himself so that Harry can continue his way. At the end of the game, he gets hit with a strong blow and loses consciousness, but fortunately, he does not get a serious injury. Harry keeps walking until he finds Professor Quirrell in front of him. It turns out here that Quirrell is the one who was doing everything they thought Snape was doing it, meaning Quirrell is the one who was hexing Harry during the match to make him lose. And he is also the one who released the troll in the school. Quirrell asks Harry to look at himself in the magical mirror to tell him the location of the stone, and the mirror shows Harry that the stone is in his pocket. At this moment, Quirrell removes the turban he is wearing on his head, and we see that Voldemort is living in the back of his head because he is weak and needs the stone to regain his power and become immortal. Voldemort asks him to give him the stone, but Harry refuses, so Quirrell tries to attack him, but he cannot because as soon as Harry touches him, Quirrell starts burning. This is because Harry's mother, before she died, protected him with a love spell, and this spell helped Harry to burn Quirrell and kill him. After that, Voldemort escapes as a spirit without a body. At the end of the battle, Harry loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he finds himself in the hospital, and Dumbledore comes to visit him and reassures him that Ron and Hermione are fine and that they destroyed the Philosopher's Stone, so no one uses it for evil after that. He learns also that he is the one who made a certain spell so that the stone is put in his pocket. At the end of the school year, Gryffindor House wins the cup because of the heroic situation that Harry and Ron and Hermione did. After that, all the students return to their homes to spend the vacation with their families until the new school year begins, and the first part of the film ends. The second part of the film begins with Harry Potter, and he is sitting alone in his room, and it appears on him bored and depressed because his friends did not communicate with him since the last time he was present in the school. And at the same time, we see Vernon preparing himself important guests coming in order to agree on a big commercial deal, and he and his wife, on Harry, and orders him not to exit from his room as long as these guests are present. And we know that Vernon and his wife hate Harry because his mother and his father were from the wizards, and they basically hate the wizards and the magic. And when Harry returns to his room again, he is surprised in front of him with a strange creature. Its shape small and its eyes wide. And we know that this creature, it's named Dobby, and it is a house elf, works at a magical family. And Dobby begins to talk to Harry in a strange way and tells him that he came to warn him from returning to Hogwarts because there is a big conspiracy and severe danger will face them there. And of course, Harry gets shocked and tries to understand from him more. But Dobby behaves in a hysterical way, and every time Harry tells him that he must go to the school, Dobby begins to hit himself. And all this, and Harry tries to calm him so that he does not make noise. And we know that Harry's friends were sending him many letters the past period, but Dobby stole them all before they reach Harry. And all Dobby's concerned now, that he does not let Harry return to the school in any way, because he is afraid for him from the danger that exists there. So he causes between him and Vernon, so that Vernon punishes him and does not let him go to the school. And indeed, Vernon locks Harry in the room and tells him that he will not return to Hogwarts again. And at night, while Harry is sleeping, he wakes up from sleep to the sound of noise outside the window. So he looks and finds a flying car standing in the air, and inside it Ron Weasley and his twin brothers, Fred and George, and they came to escape him out of the house. So quickly, Harry prepares his bag and takes his owl with him and rides with them the flying car, and they escape quickly, all of them. And the next morning, they arrive with the car to the house of the Weasley family. And although the house simple, but Harry likes it because everything in it works with magic. And after that, Ron's father and mother welcome Harry, and he sits to breakfast with them. And after a while, a letter comes to them from Hogwarts, written in it the supplies and tools that they will bring for the new year. So Ron's father takes them to Diagon Alley in order to buy all the magic supplies from there. And there, Harry meets Hermione, and they greet each other. And after that, they enter the bookstore from which they will buy the books. Inside the bookstore, there is a big gathering around an author and famous wizard, his name Lockhart, and who writes books about his adventures in which he fights dangerous creatures. And when he sees Harry, he exploits him in order to take more fame and pulls in front of the cameras in order to take pictures together forcibly. And in this meantime, the wizard Lucius and Draco Malfoy arrive at the bookstore, and he begins to bully the Weasley family because they are the poorest family among the wizards. And of course, Arthur, Ron's father, is upset and does not know how to respond to him. And on the travel day to Hogwarts, all the students are present at the station and pass through the wall that enters them to the secret platform number 9 3/4. But when Harry's and Ron's turn comes, they find the wall through which they pass closed suddenly, and the train misses them. And of course, they are both confused and do not know how to act. So Ron thinks of a crazy idea and decides to use his father's flying car in order to go with it to the school. And they continue flying with the car until they arrive at night to Hogwarts. But from their bad luck, Snape summons them to his office and continues to scold them because many people from the general public saw them while they were flying with the car. And Snape wants to expel them from the school. But Dumbledore arrives at that moment and calms the atmosphere and decides to give them a second chance and forgives them. And the next day, the new school year begins, and they attend a class with Professor Lockhart, who will teach them the subject of defense against the dark arts. And at night, Harry begins to hear a strange voice calling him, so he continues walking behind the voice until he meets Ron and Hermione and tells them that he always hears a strange voice calling him. And suddenly, they find a wall in front of them, and written on it with blood that the Chamber of Secrets has been opened, and all the students who are from the general public, their end will be tragic. And these students who are from the general public are those whose parents are not wizards. And at the moment, Dumbledore and all the teachers arrive, and they are shocked by what happened, and they all continue looking at each other, and they are silent. And the next day, in Professor McGonagall's class, she asks Hermione to tell them what exactly the story of this Chamber of Secrets is. So she gets nervous, but she has to answer her question and tells them that Hogwarts School was founded 1,000 years ago by the greatest 4 wizards in the world, and who are the owners of the 4 houses in the school, and which the students were sorted into in their first school year. But Slytherin, founder of Slytherin House, was objecting that the wizards whose mother and father are from the general public joined Hogwarts School and left the school and walked. But before he walked, he built a secret chamber in the school. And this chamber, its name, Chamber of Secrets. And inside it, there is a monster will kill all the students whose parents are without wizards. And no one will be able to open this Chamber of Secrets except Slytherin's heir. And currently, the chamber has been opened. And this means that the heir is present in the school. And after the class, Harry and his friends continue to guess with each other who is Slytherin's heir. And they are suspicious of Draco Malfoy because he continues to bully Hermione and insult her because her father and her mother are from the general public. And on this day, there is a Quidditch match between Gryffindor and Slytherin. And the match is going normally until suddenly a Quidditch ball begins to attack Harry and drops him to the ground, and his arm breaks. But despite that, he can still win his team. And after that, Harry is transferred to the hospital in order to treat his injury. And at night, he finds Dobby appeared in front of him, and he feels guilty and tells him that he is the one who closed the wall that was at the station so that he does not reach the platform and does not ride the train and go to the school. And he is also the one who made the Quidditch ball attack him in order to prevent him from staying in Hogwarts. And this because this school is dangerous for him, and he wants to protect him. And Dobby tells them that the Chamber of Secrets has been opened for the second time, and this matter will not pass well. And of course, Harry is surprised and asks him who opened the Chamber of Secrets the first time, But Dobby refuses to answer and continues to hit himself because he spoke basically and said information he was not supposed to say because his masters might punish him. And before Harry asks him about anything else, he hears the sound of footsteps coming from the end of the hospital wing. So quickly, Dobby disappears in a moment and leaves Harry in confusion and fear of what is coming. And at that time, Dumbledore enters the hospital with a petrified student. And we know that this student was petrified after the Chamber of Secrets was opened, and also his parents are from the general public. And this means that the monster inside the Chamber of Secrets targets the wizards whose parents general public and petrifies them. And these wizards whose parents are from the general public are called Muggle-born, meaning owners of non-pure blood. And this because their families are not wizards. And after a few days, Harry leaves the hospital and goes to attend a lesson with Professor Lockhart. And he teaches them in this lesson new spells in order to defend themselves against the dark wizards. And he makes Harry compete with Draco. And at that time, Draco uses a spell summons with it a snake in order to attack Harry. But the strange thing is Harry begins to talk to the snake and makes it submit to his control. And of course, all of them are shocked, and especially Snape. So quickly, Snape gets rid of the snake before the matter escalates. And after the class, Ron and Hermione go to ask Harry how he can speak the language of snakes. So Harry tells them that he was not feeling himself while he was talking to the snake. So his friends surprise him that the only person who could speak to snakes was Voldemort. And more precisely, that Slytherin's evil wizards like Voldemort and Slytherin are the only ones who had this ability. And from here, the whole school begins to suspect that Harry Potter is Slytherin's heir, and all of them take a side from him. And on the same night, another student from the Muggle-borns is petrified, and Harry sees him by chance. And after this incident, the headmaster summons Harry to his office, and Harry thinks that he wants to investigate with him because of the incidents that are happening. So Harry swears to him that he has nothing to do with what is happening. But Dumbledore reassures him that he is not suspicious of him at all, and asks him to tell him about any strange thing happening in the school, and he will help him. But Harry refuses to tell him about what happened to him. And the next day we see Harry and Ron entering the bathroom, and they are surprised that the bathroom is flooded with water. And in the bathroom, they find a ghost of a girl who died in the school, her name Myrtle, and she is sitting crying because a student threw a book at her and mocks her because she is a ghost. So Harry takes this book and discovers that it is a diary for a person, his name Tom Riddle. So Harry goes to sit alone at the desk and opens the diary. And the strange thing is, he finds it completely empty. So he holds a pen and writes his name on one of the pages and introduces himself. And suddenly, the diary begins to respond to him and tells him that it will explain to him everything that happened 50 years ago concerning the Chamber of Secrets. And suddenly, the diary takes him back 50 years, and Harry finds himself in the school and became as if he is a ghost and can see and hear people, but no one sees him. And there, he sees Tom Riddle himself, and he is looking at the body of a girl from the Muggle-borns who was killed because someone opened the Chamber of Secrets. And at that time, Tom went to Hagrid and told him that the monster he is raising is the one who killed the student, and accuses him also that he is the one who opened the Chamber of Secrets, and tells him that he will report him in order to expel him from the school. And the idea that Hagrid is raising a spider actually, but he did not harm anyone before. And although Hagrid defended himself, but no one believed him except Dumbledore. And unfortunately, Hagrid was expelled from the school, and this after they accused him that he opened the Chamber of Secrets. But after that, Dumbledore returned him to the school again and made him a keeper. And after moments, Harry returns to the present again and goes to tell his friends that Hagrid is the one who opened the Chamber of Secrets 50 years ago. But none of them is convinced by this talk, and Harry personally is not convinced, and is suspicious that Tom Riddle is behind something not right. And he framed Hagrid. And on the same night, Tom Riddle's diary is stolen from Harry's room, and no one knows who stole it. And the next day, Harry prepares for the Quidditch match. But he is surprised that the match is canceled because another student was petrified, and he is shocked that this student is Hermione. And he is very surprised that there was a mirror in her hand when she was petrified. And also, Harry notices that there is a paper in her other hand. So he takes the paper, and it is written on it the name of the monster that makes the students petrify. And we know that this monster, it's named Basilisk, and imprisoned in the Chamber of Secrets, and that it is a giant snake, kills anyone who looks directly into its eye. And what happened is all these students who were petrified saw the monster but did not see it directly. Meaning, for example, Hermione saw its reflection in the mirror, and someone was petrified, saw its reflection in his camera, and someone else saw its reflection in the water. And in this meantime, Harry and Ron hear on the microphone that there is an emergency, so they continue walking behind the teachers without anyone noticing them. And they discover here that Slytherin's heir kidnapped a student and imprisoned her in the Chamber of Secrets. And the shock here, that this student is Ginny, Ron's little sister, and McGonagall decides that she appoints Lockhart in order to kill the monster himself, because he is a wizard defender against the dark arts. And of course, Lockhart gets nervous, but he pretends that he agrees and tells her that he will go to his office in order to prepare himself for the battle. So Harry and Ron go behind Lockhart in order to help him, but they are surprised that he is packing his clothes in order to escape because he is afraid of the confrontation. But the two of them prevent him from escaping and take his wand from him. And after that, they take him with them to Myrtle because they feel that this girl knows something about the Chamber of Secrets. So Myrtle hints to them that the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets is here in the bathroom. So Harry looks at the bathroom sink and finds drawn on it a snake. So he knows that this is the entrance and uses his ability to communicate in the language of snakes and opens the Chamber of Secrets and descends, he and Ron and Lockhart, to the chamber. And as soon as they descend below, Lockhart exploits the moment and pulls Ron's broken wand in order to cast a magic spell on them in order to lose memory. But because the wand is broken, the spell rebounds on him, and he loses memory. So Ron decides to stay with Lockhart until Harry goes to the Chamber of Secrets. And as soon as Harry arrives at the Chamber of Secrets, he finds Ginny thrown on the ground and lost consciousness. And suddenly, Tom Riddle appears in front of him, and it becomes clear here that Tom is Slytherin's legitimate heir, and he is the one who was able to open the Chamber of Secrets when he was a student in Hogwarts 50 years ago. And of course, Harry is surprised how Tom Riddle is standing in front of him now, and also in his young appearance. So Tom tells him that he exists in the form of preserved memories inside his magic diary. And this diary has a strong magic spell that allows Tom to control the mind and body of the one who writes in it. And Ginny was writing in it her secrets and her fears. And gradually he controlled her and made her write the messages on the walls and open the Chamber of Secrets without her being aware what she is doing. And the biggest surprise that shocks Harry that Tom Riddle is the same as Voldemort. And Tom continues talking and tells Harry that he is the true Slytherin's heir, and he is the one who released the basilisk. And he is the one who controlled Ginny and will kill her and will take her strength in order to return human again, instead of being just a memory existing in his diary. But at the moment, Dumbledore sends his phoenix bird to Harry and gives him an empty hat. And after that, immediately, Tom summons the monster in the language of snakes in order to attack Harry. So quickly, the phoenix bird intervenes and pierces the monster's eyes, because as soon as it looks into Harry's eyes, it will die immediately. But the monster still does not surrender and comes out running behind Harry, although it does not see but hears his voice. And at that time, a sword appears from the hat with Harry. So Harry pulls the sword and kills the monster with it. And after that, Harry takes the monster's fang and stabs it into Tom's diary. And at that time, Tom dies immediately. And after a while, Ginny wakes up, and the phoenix bird comes to take Harry and those with him and returns them to the school. And Dumbledore summons Harry to his office in order to thank him for the heroic position he did, and notices that Harry is upset about something. So he asks him about what is upsetting him. So Harry tells him that he noticed that there are common things between him and Voldemort, like that they speak the language of snakes, and this matter scares him. So Dumbledore explains to him that when Voldemort tried to kill him long ago and failed, a part of Voldemort's power and soul entered him, and therefore there are common traits between them. But these traits do not have to be bad, because he is the one who controls them. But Voldemort chose that evil controls him, and in this meantime, Lucius and Dobby arrive at them, and it becomes clear that Dobby is Lucius's personal servant, and Lucius says he came in order to know who opened the Chamber of Secrets. And when he knows that Voldemort is the one who opened it, he is shocked, and shocked more, when he knows that he died. And after that, Harry is able to free Dobby from Lucius's control and makes him a free elf by giving him his sock. And this because the magic elves, in order to free from their slavery, must take clothes or anything from another person other than the person they serve. And the next day, all the students who were petrified return to their natural state again, and Dumbledore has made a meeting for all the students and surprises them that he decided to cancel the exams this year because of the circumstances that happened. And Hagrid arrives at the hall, and he is happy because finally the proof of his innocence appeared after more than 50 years, and goes to thank Harry for everything he did with him. So Harry tells him that the school has no taste without him and hugs him. And at that moment, Dumbledore stands from his place and claps for him, and all the people clap behind him for Hagrid. And all the young students come out running to Hagrid in order to greet him. And the second part of the film ends. The third part of the movie begins with Harry while he is sitting on his bed in his aunt's house, and he is operating his magic wand under the blanket so that it lights a magic book he is trying to read in it. It is clear that Harry is trying to hide his magic because it is forbidden for wizards who are under the legal age to use magic outside the school. Suddenly, Vernon enters upon him and opens the door violently. Harry quickly turns off the wand and hides under the blanket as if he is sleeping. The next day, Marge, Vernon's sister, arrives at their place. This is a cruel and arrogant woman, and she hates Harry without reason. However, Harry tries to be polite with her and asks Vernon if he can sign for him on a paper so that he can go to the village of Hogsmeade. This is the village that the Hogwarts students will visit this year. Vernon tells him that this will not happen unless he is a well-behaved boy all the time. Marge is present. As soon as Marge arrives, she starts speaking badly about Harry's father and mother. At this moment, Harry's facial expressions change, and anger controls him involuntarily. Suddenly, Marge starts inflating like a balloon until she flies in the air as if she is a big balloon. Everyone in the house screams. Vernon tries to catch her, but without benefit. She hits the ceiling, and then she goes out the window and remains flying in the air. After what happened, Harry reaches his limit and decides not to stay in the house for another second. He packs his clothes and goes out of the house. He remains standing alone in a dark street, and he does not know where he will go. Suddenly, a strange bus appears in front of him named Night Bus. This bus emerges from nowhere and stops in front of Harry. After that, a man named Stan descends from it and asks Harry to ride the bus. He explains to him that this bus is dedicated to helping wizards who are lost or do not have a place to go to. Harry rides the bus, and it starts moving with them at a terrifying speed. We learn that ordinary people or muggles cannot see this bus. On the way, Harry sees a newspaper written on it that there is a dangerous prisoner named Sirius Black who escaped from Azkaban prison. This is the first time anyone escapes from this prison. Azkaban prison is special for wizards who committed big disasters, and it is considered the ugliest prison in the world. They also say in the news that Sirius Black was one of Voldemort's followers, and all people are terrified of him because he might be planning to return Voldemort to life again. After a while, the bus arrives at a simple hotel special for wizards. Harry enters the hotel and finds the Minister of Magic waiting for him personally. Harry thinks that the minister came to punish him because he violated the laws and used magic outside the school. However, the minister reassures him that they will not punish him and that they controlled the situation and rescued Marge and erased her memory. The next day, Ron and his family Hermione arrive at the hotel and greet Harry. Mr. Weasley, Ron's father, comes to greet Harry and takes him aside to tell him something important. He informs him that there is a prisoner named Sirius Black who escaped from prison, and he is certainly looking for him to kill him because he was one of Voldemort's followers. Harry is the only person who was able to challenge Voldemort and did not die at his hand. At night, Harry and his friends ride the train to go to Hogwarts. They start looking for an empty place to sit in, but all the compartments are full until they find an empty compartment. Sleeping in it is a man covering his face. This man is named Professor Lupin, and he will be a new teacher in Hogwarts School. The three of them sit next to him. While the train is moving, the weather starts to darken, and the rain falls on the glass in a frightening way. The weather becomes very cold, and fear fills the place. Suddenly, the train stops in the middle of the road, and a terrifying entity appears, entering the compartment that Harry and his friends are in. This entity is like a tall ghost wearing a long black cloak, and his face is not visible at all. We learn that this entity is one of the creatures named Dementors, and they are guards of Azkaban prison. The Ministry sent them to search for Sirius Black. As soon as the Dementor approaches Harry, he starts feeling that he is suffocating and shaking hard. He starts hearing the voice of a woman screaming in his ear, and suddenly he faints. At this moment, Lupin wakes up from sleep and uses a certain magic spell on the Dementor to keep it away from them. We learn that Dementors are very dark magic creatures similar to ghosts and the most evil beings in the world of magic. They have very frightening magic abilities, such as that they can suck all human emotions and happy memories and feed on these happy memories. People who saw Dementors describe them that they draw happiness from the air, and when they see them, they enter a state of deep depression. The Ministry of Magic uses them as guards for Azkaban prison because their presence alone is enough to make any evil wizard lose his mind from the intensity of terror and depression because Dementors feed on human suffering. We return to Harry again after he wakes up and his friends and Lupin are sitting around him. They explain to him exactly what happened and inform him that the Dementors were here to search for Sirius Black. At night, they all arrive at the school, and Dumbledore gathers them in the hall. He informs them that he appointed Lupin the new teacher for the subject of defense against the dark arts, and also appointed Hagrid the teacher responsible for caring for magical creatures. Dumbledore informs them that the Ministry of Magic sent them Dementors to guard the school from outside because Sirius Black might break into it at any moment. He asks them to be careful of the Dementors because they do not know how to distinguish between the guilty and the innocent. The next day, Harry and his colleagues go to attend the first lesson with Hagrid in the forest. Hagrid shows them an animal named Buckbeak, which is a huge bird. Hagrid lets Harry ride on Buckbeak's back and fly with it. Harry is at the peak of happiness while flying in the sky. When he lands on the ground, his friends remain cheering him, but Draco is jealous of him and approaches Buckbeak in an aggressive way. Buckbeak gets scared and pushes him to the ground and injures him. Quickly, Hagrid cancels the lesson and carries Draco and transfers him to the hospital. After that, the students go to attend the first lesson of Professor Lupin. Lupin informs them that in this lesson, he will teach them how to face a creature named Boggart. This Boggart is a creature that changes its shape to turn into the thing that most scares the one in front of it. They will face this Boggart through a spell named Ridiculous. Indeed, every student starts standing in front of the Boggart, and each one of them imagines the thing that scares him most in front of him. The Boggart immediately takes its shape, and then they cast the spell on it. At that time, the Boggart special to each one of them turns into something funny. When it is Harry's turn and he stands in front of the Boggart, he finds it turned into a Dementor. It is clear that this is the thing Harry fears most. Quickly, Lupin stands in front of Harry to protect him and makes the Boggart turn into a moon and hides it in the closet. The next day, they discover that Sirius Black broke into the school and attacked a person in it. Of course, Dumbledore and all the teachers are terrified for the students. Dumbledore gathers all the students in one hall and makes them sleep in it. He closes all the gates well and tightens the guard. The next day, they attend a lesson for Professor Snape, and he talks in it about werewolves. He says that werewolves are ordinary humans, but against their will, they turn into wolves when the moon is full and attack anyone without feeling. On this day, Harry has a Quidditch match. While he is flying in the sky, suddenly a Dementor appears in front of him and starts sucking his soul. Harry falls from a high altitude from his broom, but fortunately Dumbledore casts a spell and protects him. When Harry wakes up, he finds himself in the hospital, and all his friends around him. They inform him they are upset that his broom is broken, and in this way he will not be able to enter any matches again. After Harry's health improves, he leaves the hospital and goes to meet Lupin. He asks him to help him in facing the Dementors and train him on using the spell Expecto Patronum, which keeps the Dementors away from him. Lupin promises him that he will help him. The next day, all Harry's colleagues go to the village of Hogsmeade except Harry because Vernon did not agree to sign the permission for him. Harry wears his invisibility cloak to go after them, but at that time, Fred and George see the traces of his feet on the snow. They take him aside and inform him that he can be discovered easily because he does not know the way. They give him a magic map through which he can see where every person in the school is so that he avoids any of the teachers seeing him while he is escaping. Of course, Harry is very happy and thanks them. After that, Harry takes the map and wears the invisibility cloak and goes to Hogsmeade. There, he meets his friends and remains joking with them while wearing the cloak. But they are surprised when they find the Minister of Magic entering with McGonagall into a house of one of the witches named Rosmerta. Harry enters after them while wearing the invisibility cloak and hears them talking about Sirius Black. Harry discovers from their words that Sirius was his godfather, or his spiritual father, because Sirius and Harry's father and mother were very close friends, as if they were one family. However, he betrayed them in the end and told Voldemort their location so that he goes to kill his mother and father. Also, Harry's father and mother had one of their friends named Peter, and he wanted to prevent Sirius from what he wanted to do, but he could not stop him because he was killed. Of course, when Harry hears this talk, he collapses and goes out and cries. He remains shouting and tells his friends that he will kill Sirius Black. After a period, Harry masters the spell Expecto Patronum. At night, we see Harry looking at the map. He has to know where the teachers are now. He is shocked when he finds Peter walking in the school even though he is dead. He assumes that this map is broken or has something. The next day, we see Harry and Ron and Hermione going to console Hagrid, and this is after a decision was issued to execute Buckbeak. This is because Draco told his father about what happened to him. So his father said in the Ministry that Buckbeak is dangerous to his son and might kill him. Therefore, a decision was issued to execute him. Suddenly, Ron's rat bites him and runs out towards a tree. Quickly, Ron runs after it to catch it, and Harry and Hermione follow him. Suddenly, a strange animal appears because it is a ferocious dog. It attacks Ron and drags him inside the tree. Quickly, Harry and Hermione enter after him into the tree. There, they find Ron terrified because the dog that dragged him is Sirius Black. It turns out here that Sirius is transformed. Of course, Harry, as soon as he sees him in front of him, cannot control his nerves and wants to kill him. But at this moment, Lupin arrives at him and prevents him. He also hugs Sirius Black because he has not seen him for 12 years because he was imprisoned. It turns out that they are close friends anyway. Of course, Harry and Ron and Hermione are in a state of shock from what happened and do not comprehend that Lupin turned out to be a traitor. Harry shouts at Sirius because he betrayed his family and caused their death. Sirius tells him that the one who betrayed his family is Peter, and also, Peter is still alive and did not die or anything. At that time, Hermione discovers with her intelligence that Lupin is a werewolf, and the evidence for that is that he was not attending lessons when the moon is full. After moments, Snape arrives and wants to finish off Sirius, but Harry prevents him and pushes him away because he wants to know the truth from him. Sirius tells him that Ron's rat is not an ordinary rat, but is the wizard Peter who betrayed his father and mother and made Voldemort know their location. Of course, no one believes his words at first, but Sirius and Lupin say that they can prove this and use a spell to transform Peter. Indeed, he transforms in front of their eyes, and Peter returns to his natural shape. His shape is cowardly and afraid. Here, Harry comprehends that Sirius is innocent, and also Lupin is innocent, and that Peter is the one who really betrayed James and Lily Potter, Harry's father and mother. Sirius was trying to kill Peter, not Ron, and that all these past years the rat that was with Ron was the traitor Peter. Lupin and Sirius want to kill Peter to take revenge for Harry's father and mother, but Harry prevents them and tells them that he needs to be tortured throughout his life because death is mercy for him. Therefore, they will take him to Azkaban prison. After that, everyone goes out, but unfortunately, the moon is full, and Lupin starts transforming into a wolf. Peter takes advantage of the opportunity and escapes. Sirius tries to help Lupin, but he pushes him far towards the lake. Quickly, Harry goes after him to check on him. Suddenly, the Dementors surround Harry from everywhere and start sucking his soul, but suddenly a white halo appears from afar. This halo is in the shape of an animal and keeps all the Dementors away from Harry. When Harry sees this white halo, he is amazed and thinks it is his father's spirit coming to save him, but suddenly Harry loses consciousness. After a while, he wakes up in the hospital, and he is fine. Hermione goes to sit next to him so that he tells her about what happened to him, but Dumbledore interrupts their talk and tells them that unfortunately, they returned Sirius to prison and he will be executed. He looks at Hermione and tells her that 3 turns of her watch can save Sirius's life because he is innocent and wronged. He leaves her and walks. Of course, Harry does not understand anything, but Hermione understands his intention and takes out a magic watch from her. She puts it on her neck and Harry's and turns the watch 3 turns. They return in time to 3 hours ago. It turns out that this watch can transfer them in time. Hermione explains to Harry that Dumbledore knows that she uses this watch to go back in time and attend her lessons more than once to be excellent and get high grades. He asked her indirectly to use it to save Sirius. The night they return to in time is the night of Buckbeak's execution. Quickly, Harry and Hermione go to free Buckbeak before he is executed and escape him. After that, Harry takes Hermione to the place where the Dementors were going to suck his soul to see who the person who will save him is. He is still believing that his father is the one who will save him, but no one comes. Now, Harry, who is in the past, is about to die. Quickly, Harry, who came from the future, takes out his wand and keeps the Dementors away from himself. It turns out here that Harry is the one who saved himself, but when he returned to the past. After that, Harry and Hermione ride on Buckbeak and fly to Azkaban prison. As soon as they arrive, they escape Sirius and take him to the school. It is clear that Harry became very attached to Sirius and started feeling that he is like his father. He tells him that he wants to live with him. Sirius tells him that he also wants very much to live with him, but he will not remain fixed in a place and will remain escaping every while because he has a death sentence. However, he reassures him that he will see him a lot in the coming period. After that, Sirius bids farewell to Harry and takes Buckbeak and escapes with it outside the school. After that, Harry and Hermione return to our current time, and they are happy that the mission succeeded. When Harry learns that Lupin decided to leave the school, he is upset and goes to visit him to know why he wants to leave the school. Lupin tells him that all people knew that he is a werewolf, and the students' parents will not accept someone like him to teach their children. Of course, Harry is very upset for him and tells him that he is grateful for everything he did with him. After that, Harry goes to sit with his friends in the hall. Harry is surprised that Sirius sent him a gift. When he opens it, he finds it a new broom, instead of his broom that was broken and also more modern than his old broom. Harry is happy and feels that God compensated him with a second father. The third part of the movie ends. The fourth part of the movie begins in the house of an old man named Frank, and he makes tea. But suddenly, he gets a strange feeling, and when he looks at the house in front of him and finds it lit, despite that this house is abandoned for years, so Frank leaves what he makes and goes to see what the story of this house is. And when he enters the house, he goes up to the last floor and stands behind the door. And at that time, he sees in front of him unclear features of Voldemort, and he sits on a chair, but his power is still not complete yet, and his voice is very scary, and Peter stands in front of him, and he is afraid. And Voldemort says to Peter that they must get rid of Harry Potter. And suddenly, and while they talk, a huge snake appears named Nagini, and the snake crawls into place, and Frank freezes from fear. And this snake is Voldemort's close animal, and he considers it his right arm. And when Nagini senses the presence of Frank, she informs Voldemort immediately, so quickly. Voldemort kills Frank. And at the same moment, Harry Potter wakes up from sleep, and it turns out that everything he saw was a dream. But it is not just a dream because it is a vision. And it happened actually, meaning what Harry saw was a real scene that happened. And this means that Voldemort plans so that he returns again and gets rid of Harry Potter. And we know that Harry, since the vacation, is staying in Ron's house, and Hermione comes and wakes Ron and Harry and tells them that Arthur waits for them outside. And Arthur takes them, the 3, to the forest and introduces them to his colleague who works in the Ministry of Magic, and his son Cedric, and who is also a student in Hogwarts school, but older than them by a few years. And after that, they all travel through a portkey and go to watch the Quidditch World Cup, and which plays in it the most famous 2 Quidditch teams in the world, and among them, the best Quidditch player in the world, and whose name is Crumb. And after the match, Harry and his friends go to rest a little in a tent, but suddenly they hear the sound of screaming and noise outside the tent, and they do not understand what happens. So Arthur tells them that an attack happened on them from the Death Eaters, and they kill in the desert outside. They must escape from here immediately, before they get killed too. And we know that the Death Eaters are the followers of Lord Voldemort, and they consider from the most dangerous and fiercest wizards in the world, and every one of them obeys Voldemort blindly without thinking, and they participate with him in his plans to spread darkness and control the wizarding world. And after that, Harry and those with him go out running outside amid the chaos and the people who die. But amid these events, Harry falls and faints. And when he wakes up, he finds the place destroyed around him and completely empty. And suddenly, he finds a wizard from the Death Eaters named Barty standing in front of him. And this wizard he had seen in his dream before. And Barty starts drawing the dark mark in the sky so that people know that Lord Voldemort returns again. But after moments, this wizard disappeared. And at that time, Hermione and Ron and his family arrive at Harry and rescue him quickly. They exit from the place they are in. And the next day, all the students arrive at Hogwarts to start the new school year. And Dumbledore gathers them in the meeting room and tells them that this year they will host new students from other magic schools to participate with them in the Triwizard Tournament. And Dumbledore hosts 2 schools, and the first school is a famous girls' school, and the second school is a boys' school, and its most famous student is Krum. And after that, Dumbledore starts explaining to them everything about the Triwizard Tournament and tells them that this tournament is a very ancient magical competition, and it happens between 3 major magic schools. And this tournament was made to test the students' abilities in magic and courage and behavior under pressure, and makes the students show the best they have in difficult challenges. And all students who are 17 years old or more can put their name in the Goblet of Fire to participate in the competition. And this Goblet of Fire is a magical goblet that chooses 1 student from each school. And after the goblet chooses 3 champions, they compete in 3 dangerous magical tasks. And who wins the 3 tasks wins the cup for his school. But he warns them that these tasks can be deadly, and therefore it is forbidden for students whose age is less than 17 years to participate in it. And this means that Harry and his friends cannot possibly participate in the competition because they have not yet reached 15 years. And he continues his speech and tells the students that who wants to participate in the competition writes his name on a paper and puts it in the Goblet of Fire. And after that, the goblet itself chooses a student from each school to participate and tells them that cheating is forbidden because the Goblet of Fire discovers the cheater and punishes him. And while they talk, a new teacher arrives at the school named Moody, and we know that he worked in the Ministry of Magic as a hunter for Death Eater wizards, meaning specialized in chasing evil wizards. And Dumbledore called him to teach the students how to defend themselves from dark magic. And the next day, all the students attend the first lesson for Professor Moody, and he tells them in this lesson information about the 3 unforgivable curses, and uses the curses on a spider to explain to them how the curses work. And among these curses is the Avada Kedavra curse. And this is the killing curse that no one can survive from it. And there is no one who survived from it in the whole world except Harry Potter. And after that, the goblet test comes for the students who participate in the tournament. And the first person the goblet chooses is a girl from Beauxbaton School named Fleur. And the second person the goblet chooses is Krum from Durmstrang School. And finally, the goblet chooses Cedric from Hogwarts School. And thus, the goblet has chosen the 3 competitors who participate, but suddenly something happens that no one expected, because the goblet chooses a 4th student to participate in the competition, and the shock is that this student is Harry Potter. And of course, Dumbledore is shocked because Harry is under the legal age and cannot participate. So he calls Harry, and he is angry, and asks him why he cheated and put his name in the goblet. So Harry completely denies that he put his name, and he is afraid and does not understand what happens. And all the attendees are shocked by what happened and do not understand how it happened. So Dumbledore holds a meeting with the Ministry of Magic to tell them that Harry cannot participate in the tournament because he is young and the matter is dangerous. But Crouch, the wizard's judge, tells him that since the goblet chose Harry, he must participate in the tournament, and there is no room for withdrawal. And from after this situation, all the school students take a position from Harry and think that he cheated to put his name in the Goblet of Fire, even though he has no guilt at all, and he himself does not understand how his name was put in the Goblet of Fire. And this talk means that very powerful magic was done to the goblet to force it to choose Harry's name. And the next day, when Sirius Black knows what happened, he contacts Harry through the fire and tells him that everything that happens to him is not just coincidence, and surely someone arranged for him to put his name in the Goblet of Fire for a bad purpose, and also tells him strange information. And it is that the headmaster of Durmstrang's school was from the Death Eaters previously and caused the imprisonment of the son of Judge Crouch. And at night, Hagrid goes to meet Harry in the forest and tells him that the first competition in the tournament will be a Quidditch match, but different from any Quidditch he played before, because each competitor will face alone a huge dragon. And to win the competition, he must fight the dragon and take the golden egg that will be in the competition arena, and which the dragon guards. And the next day, the first round in the competition begins, and each one of them enters a confrontation with his own dragon, and they all manage to overcome it until Harry's turn comes, and he discovers that he will face the most dangerous dragon of them. And in the beginning, Harry is weak and afraid and is about to die, but he gathers his courage and fights to the last breath, and in the end, he manages to take the golden egg. And from after that, all the students are proud of Harry Potter because he won the first round and celebrate him in the school. And Harry has curiosity to know what is inside this golden egg, so he opens it. But as soon as he opens it, a disturbing sound comes out that no one of them can bear, so quickly he closes it again. And of course, Harry's curiosity increases more towards the golden egg, and he wants to know what its benefit is. And one day, Cedric goes to tell him that if he wants to know the riddle of the egg, he does like him, and takes the egg and goes down with it under the water. So indeed, Harry does that, and fills the bathtub to the end, and goes down with the egg under the water and opens it. And at that time, the egg asks him to search for something dear to him in the lake. And after hours, the second round in the competition begins. And the task this time is that all the competitors dive in the Black Lake to search for things that belong to them. And of course, each one of the competitors uses a certain spell to be able to breathe under the water. And when Harry goes down under the water, he finds Ron and Hermione and his classmate Cho and Fleur's little sister imprisoned, the four, under the water and unconscious. And each one of the competitors must save only one person, because the merpeople will prevent them from saving more than one person. So Krum goes to save Hermione and exits with her from the water. And after that, Cedric saves Cho and exits with her, but Fleur gets tired in the middle of the competition and cannot save her sister. So she exits quickly outside the water before she drowns. And Harry stands between Ron and Fleur's sister and does not know whom to save and whom to leave. So he decides that he saves both. But the merpeople do not leave him alone and start attacking him. So Harry exits Ron and Fleur's sister from the water first and remains under the water alone, fighting the merpeople. And the spell effect is about to end, and he cannot breathe under the water. But in the last moment, he gathers his strength and casts a spell that exits him quickly from the water. And quickly, Dumbledore and all the teachers go to check on him, and they are proud of him that he saved two of his friends because he could have died because of what he did. And Dumbledore decides to give him the second place in the competition because of his courage and good morals. Because real magic is what thinks of people's interest before its interest. And at night, they all get surprised when they find Judge Crouch killed. And after that, Dumbledore calls Harry to his office and asks him to wait for him until he returns to him. And Dumbledore meant to leave him alone in the office to show him something specific. And suddenly a pensieve appears from behind him, preserved in it old memories. And suddenly, this pensieve pulls Harry to an old memory. And at that time, Harry finds himself present in the court. And this is the night in which the headmaster of Durmstrang's school was judged after they discovered that he is from the Death Eaters. And the headmaster of the school sits in front of Judge Crouch after he announced his repentance and announces the names of the Death Eaters, and among them, Barty, the son of Judge Crouch. And of course, the matter is a big shock for the judge himself, and he decides that he sends his son to Azkaban prison. And we discover here that Snape was in the past among the members of the Death Eaters. But his conscience woke up one day and decided to stay away from them and joined Dumbledore's side. And when Harry exits this memory, he is shocked, especially that he saw it before in his dream. And after a while, the final competition comes, in which the four competitors are supposed to enter a maze to search for a certain cup there, and who finds this cup and touches it wins the competition. But Dumbledore warns the competitors that this is the most difficult stage in the whole competition because they do not know what awaits them inside the maze. And after moments, the competition begins, and the four enter inside the maze, which is enchanted with dark magic, and Fleur cannot continue the competition, so Harry helps her to exit from the maze. And also, Krum gets cursed with dark magic, and evil controls him, so Harry and Cedric escape from him and continue running in the maze from the predatory plants until they reach the cup. And each one of them wants the other to touch the cup first to win, but Harry decides that both of them touch the cup at the same moment. And as soon as they touch the cup, they find themselves transported to the graveyard, and they stand next to the grave of Voldemort's family. And here, Harry feels danger and tells Cedric that they must escape immediately, but they do not have time because suddenly they find Peter entering on them, and he carries Lord Voldemort between his hands. So Cedric tries to kill him to defend Harry, but Voldemort orders Peter to finish him, and unfortunately, Peter finishes Cedric with the Avada Kedavra spell. And after that, Peter ties Harry in the graveyard, and Peter starts doing the spell that returns Voldemort his power again. So he puts Voldemort in a strange magical liquid and brings Harry's blood and throws it in the middle of this liquid and starts chanting a certain spell. And suddenly, Voldemort starts regaining his power again and stands on his feet and cannot believe that he regained his power again after more than 13 years. And after that, Voldemort summons the Death Eaters, and as soon as they arrive at him, he starts yelling at them because no one thought to return him during the years that passed. And the biggest shock here is that Lucius is among the Death Eaters, and he is very loyal to Voldemort. And after that, Voldemort goes to stand in front of Harry and looks at him with all hatred and gloating, and cannot believe that he stands in front of the boy who challenged him, and decides at this moment that he enters with him in a magical duel to finish him. And of course, Harry cannot withstand in front of his power. But at this moment, something strange happens, because Harry finds himself suddenly surrounded by the spirit of his mother and his father and Cedric, and they tell him that they will help him to overcome Voldemort. And Cedric's spirit asks Harry to take his body and return it to his father. And indeed, Harry leaves the spirits to deal with Voldemort, and quickly takes Cedric's body and touches the cup. And suddenly, he finds himself returned to the school again. And of course, as soon as Dumbledore and the teachers see Cedric's body in front of them, they get shocked. So Harry continues screaming and crying and tells them that Voldemort returned again, and he is the one who did this to Cedric. So Moody takes Harry to his office to calm him and asks him to tell him what exactly happened in the maze, and starts asking him unnatural questions about Voldemort. So here, Harry starts suspecting that something wrong happens because the enthusiasm is clear in Moody's eyes while he talks about Voldemort. And Harry discovers at this moment that the person standing in front of him is not Moody at all, but it is Barty impersonating Moody. And also, Barty is the one who put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire to make him face Voldemort in the final competition and kill him. And this, based on Voldemort's own orders. And he also used Voldemort's dark magic to be able to deceive the goblet. And at the same moment, Dumbledore and Snape arrive at them and surround Barty and return him to his real form, and also know that Barty was imprisoning Moody the whole past period in a trunk. So Dumbledore goes to save Moody and asks Snape to send Barty to Azkaban prison. And the next day, Dumbledore holds a meeting for the students and tells them that Voldemort returned again, and they must be ready for what is coming because they are entering a very difficult stage. And after a while, the school year ends, and all the students return to spend the vacation in their homes, and Harry goes to bid farewell to his friends. And it is clear on him that he is worried about the future, and the fourth part of the movie ends. The fifth part of the movie begins with Harry. He is sitting in the garden alone. He tries to listen to the news bulletin because he knows if there is something concerning the return of Voldemort or magical incidents. But suddenly, Dudley appears with his friends next to Harry. They begin to mock him. They bully him. Harry becomes very upset, but he does not use his wand on them because the Ministry of Magic might know. It is forbidden for students whose age is under 17 years that they use magic outside the school. While they are standing, suddenly they find the sky has become its color dark. The weather begins to cool. So quickly, all of them run out. Harry and Dudley go to hide in a tunnel. But suddenly, an attack happens on them from the Dementors. They begin to suck their souls. Already, they both become on the verge that they die. But in that moment, Harry uses his magic wand. He makes the spell Expecto Patronum on the Dementors because he drives them away from him, he and Dudley. At that time, their neighbor Fig comes to check on Harry and Dudley. She takes them up to the house because Dudley is still in a state of shock from what happened. Harry knows from Fig that Dumbledore sent her specifically to live in the house that faces them because he is afraid for him since when Voldemort returned again. After that, Harry takes Dudley. They enter the house. As soon as Vernon sees his son in that state, he keeps insulting Harry. He tells him that all the disasters happened to them because of his magic. In that meantime, a talking letter arrives to them from the Ministry. They tell in it Harry that he violated the laws. He used magic outside the school. He is under the legal age. Because of that, they had to expel him from the School of Magic. Also, the Ministry will try him itself. Of course, at that time, Harry becomes angry. He goes up to his room. He is angry. While Harry is sitting alone, he is surprised that Moody and members of the Order of the Phoenix come to take him. We know that the Order of the Phoenix is a secret group of wizards under Dumbledore. Its main goal is to fight Lord Voldemort and his followers from the Death Eaters. The group was founded the first time in the period of the First Wizarding War, before the fall of Voldemort in the night in which he tried to kill Harry Potter. From the most prominent members of the group are Dumbledore, the founder of the group and its leader. Also Sirius Black and Lupin, who was the professor of Defense Against the Dark Arts. Molly and Arthur, who are the father and mother of Ron. Also Moody and a girl named Tonks. This is a girl who can change her shape. Snape, he is also one of the members. Also, there is one named Kingsley Shacklebolt working in the Ministry of Magic. The headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix, this is in the house of Sirius Black. This is a secret place, no one can see it, except if he knows the secret. When Harry arrives at the house, he sees the Order of the Phoenix holding a meeting together, but they do not want him to hear what they are saying. So he goes up to the room that is above. There he finds Hermione and Ron. As soon as Hermione sees him, she takes him in a hug because she heard that he was subjected to an attack from the Dementors. After the meeting, Harry goes down to dine with the Order of the Phoenix. He knows from Sirius Black that the Ministry of Magic is not able to believe that Lord Voldemort returned anew. They might not want to believe, because if they believed, then that means they are entering a fierce war. Currently, the Ministry of Magic is in a state of denial of what happened. Despite that, all the evidence is in front of them. The last evidence that Cedric was killed at the hand of Voldemort. Molly, the mother of Ron, is not wanting Harry to hear this talk, because he is still young. But Harry tells her that he wants to be a member in the Order of the Phoenix and participate with them in the war. So Sirius looks at him with all pride. He is happy with him. It is clear that the relationship of Harry-Sirius is not just a relationship of two friends, because it is stronger than that much. Sirius represents to Harry the family and the embrace and the safety and the father that he was deprived of all his life. Sirius, he also loves Harry very much. He considers him like his son. Also sees in him the image of James, his true friend, the father of Harry. After dinner, Harry goes up. But as usual, he keeps dreaming many nightmares the night of the killing of Cedric. The next day, he goes to the Ministry because he attends the trial. Harry enters alone to the court. The investigation is conducted with him. Harry is confused. He does not know to defend himself until Dumbledore arrives at him. He tells him in front of the minister that Harry did not wrong in anything, because he had to use magic, because he protects himself from the Dementors, because they were going to kill him. But the minister does not believe this talk because there is no witness to the incident. Perhaps Harry invented this whole story because he is not judged. Dumbledore had accounted for something like this. So he tells the minister that he brought a witness. The witness turns out to be Fig. So Fig sits in front of the minister. She tells him that she saw the Dementors with her eyes. They suck his soul. As soon as she saw these creatures, she felt at that time that happiness disappeared from the world. The weather became cold. After the court hears her statements, they decide to implement the verdict by majority of votes. The majority of the people who are sitting want Harry to get acquittal. Indeed, that happens. Harry gets acquittal. He returns to the school again. While he is entering the school, he meets a new student named Luna. We know that she is in Ravenclaw House. It is known about her that she is very intelligent, but her mind is always in another world. She loves to talk about strange things, but she is calm and innocent. She does not care about people's opinions of her. This makes her different and distinctive. After a while, Dumbledore holds a meeting for the students. He informs them that Hagrid will not teach them this year. Also, he informs them that Professor Umbridge, the deputy of the minister, will join their school because she monitors the situation of the students in the school. Also, she will teach them the subject of defense against the dark arts. The next day, Harry and his friends enter the first lesson of Umbridge. All of them are excited to learn defensive spells because the situation in the wizarding world has become dangerous after the return of Voldemort indeed. But the surprise that Umbridge tells them that they will not learn practical spells, meaning they will study only theory from the Ministry book without using their magic wands. Of course, Harry becomes very upset. He asks her how they will be able to protect themselves if an attack happens from Voldemort. So Umbridge replies to him coldly. She tells him that Voldemort did not return, basically. So at that time, Harry becomes angry. He quarrels with her. He tells her that Voldemort returned. He saw him himself, but she denies that. She tells him that he is a liar. She decides that she punishes Harry. She makes him write a sentence, "I must not lie," with a magic quill that carves the words in his hand instead of writing it on the paper. This matter, of course, is very painful. From after that day, and the school, its state turned upside down completely because Umbridge completely banned magic in the school. Also, she was punishing the students in painful ways through magic spells that torture them with it. This talk is forbidden basically in Hogwarts school. From after what happened, that the students began to feel that she is not only annoying, but she is also a danger to them. And especially with the return of Voldemort. So here, Hermione notices something no one had noticed. She understands why the Ministry sent Umbridge, and that because the Ministry is afraid that Dumbledore prepares the students to fight Voldemort. So they sent Umbridge because she monitors the school and prevents them from learning real defense. From that moment, and Harry and Hermione and Ron began to think to make a secret group. They learn in it real self-defense instead of relying on Umbridge who lies and spreads ignorance. After that, Hermione gathered the students, the protesters, about what is happening, offered them to join their secret group, made a list with the names of those who want to join the group. Harry becomes the teacher who will teach them magic because he is the only one who faced Voldemort himself. They decided after that they name this group by the name Dumbledore's Army. Harry notices in that period that Dumbledore avoids him completely. Every time he tries to go to him or talk to him, he leaves him and walks quickly. He does not understand. He behaves like this. Why? The next day, the student Neville knows that there is a magic room in Hogwarts that appears only when someone needs it. Its name is the Room of Requirement. This room appeared to them when they were looking for a secret place to train in it without Umbridge knowing. Indeed, they begin training there. In the first lesson, Harry begins to explain to them the importance of self-defense, that they must learn correctly because the Ministry covers up the truth. He began to teach them the first defense spell, which is Expelliarmus. This is a spell to disarm the enemy. This was from the most spells that Harry used throughout the past years. Of course, the students are very excited. After them, actually, the first time he succeeds in executing a spell like Neville, who began to improve. All of them are proud of him. Harry is sleeping. He dreams that he is a snake. He attacks Arthur. So he wakes up from sleep terrified. When the teachers know the vision that he saw, they take him quickly to Dumbledore because he tells it to him. When Dumbledore hears this talk, he is shocked because Harry's dream indeed came true. The snake attacked Arthur, but they caught him at the last moment before he dies. Here, Dumbledore confirms that there is a magic link between Harry and Voldemort, meaning Voldemort can see and hear through Harry's mind and vice versa. Because of that, Dumbledore decides to begin to teach Harry special spells named occlumency because he closes his mind in front of Voldemort, does not let anyone penetrate his thoughts. He chooses Snape because he teaches Harry this matter. Snape sits with Harry in private. He tells him that when Voldemort tried to kill him, he was young. He transferred part of his soul inside him. Because of that, there is a common link between them. They must break this link because Voldemort stops controlling his mind. Snape begins with him the training, but it is very harsh on Harry. But Snape is not merciful to him at all. increases the training because he sees that pressure on him is the only way, because he breaks the link that is between Lord Voldemort and between him. After a period, they discover that Voldemort freed the Death Eaters, his followers, from Azkaban prison. Among them, an evil witch named Bellatrix. This is the cousin of Sirius Black. Also, we know that Bellatrix used the forbidden torture spell on the father and mother of Neville until she made them lose their minds completely. They are not aware of what is happening around them. This, of course, by orders from Voldemort. The days pass. We see that Harry and his friends are still continuing the training in the secret room until one day Umbridge catches them, takes them to Dumbledore. She tells them that they made a secret army behind them, named it Dumbledore's Army, because Dumbledore does not want any one of them to be punished, so he throws the charge on himself. At that time, the minister decides to send him to Azkaban prison, but Dumbledore tells him that it is impossible he goes to a place like this. Suddenly, Dumbledore disappears from in front of them. From that moment, the minister decides to appoint Umbridge, the new headmistress of Hogwarts School, gives her all the authorities because she does what she wants in the school. One day, Harry goes to continue training with Snape. He is already unable. He asks him to have mercy on him because the training is very difficult. So Snape tells him that he is a coward like his father, keeps insulting his father a bit. Of course, Harry becomes angry, uses the same spell, enters inside Snape's mind. Here is the shock because he sees an old memory of his father James. He is young while he is bullying Snape, humiliating him in the middle of the whole school. Here Harry discovers why Snape hates his father, hates him. He also liked this. The next day, Harry sees a vision of Voldemort. He is imprisoning Sirius. He is torturing him in the Ministry. So Harry decides in that moment to go to the Ministry because he saves him. Hermione and Ron and Ginny and Luna and Neville decide to go with him. When they enter the Ministry building, they keep walking until they reach the Department of Mysteries. There, they find the room that Harry saw in the vision, but Sirius is not present. Also, they find a magic orb in it, a prophecy about Harry and Voldemort. This prophecy says that there is a boy will be born at the end of July. He will have the power that he defeats the Dark Lord, who is Voldemort. One of them must die at the hand of the other because they both cannot live. Suddenly, a large number of Death Eaters appear in front of them. Their leader is Lucius Malfoy, who is also the father of Draco. Their goal, that they take the prophecy from Harry because he is the only one who could see it and find it. A very violent battle happens. Also, Bellatrix appears, begins to fight them. It becomes clear that Sirius is not present in the place. But Voldemort tricked Harry's mind, deluded him that his godfather is present because he comes to save him. Of course, Harry and his friends try to escape, but they fail. So they had to enter a very big magic battle. During moments, the Order of the Phoenix arrive at them because they helped them. Among them, Sirius. A big battle happens between the Death Eaters and the Order of the Phoenix. During the fighting, the prophecy breaks. Suddenly, Bellatrix appears. She hits Sirius with the spell Avada Kedavra. With deep regret, he dies immediately. Of course, Harry is in a state of shock, does not believe that the person he loves most in his life died in front of his eyes. So he keeps screaming at the top of his voice. He is heartbroken. Here, Harry, the anger possesses him. So he runs out. He runs after Bellatrix because he kills her. But he cannot do that. In that moment, Voldemort appears next to him. He is going to kill Harry. But Dumbledore arrives at the last moment. An epic magic confrontation begins between him and Voldemort using water magic and fire and glass. It appears that Dumbledore is very strong. During the fighting, the minister arrives with the rest of the ministers. As soon as they see Voldemort in front of them, they are shocked and a shock of their life. They finally realize and believe that he returned anew. So quickly, Voldemort disappears from the place. After a period, we know that Dumbledore returned headmaster of the school again. Umbridge was transferred to investigation. One day, Harry sits with Dumbledore because he knows why he was avoiding him throughout the past period. So Dumbledore informs him that he is the first one who discovered that there is a strong magic link between him and between Voldemort. This link made him able to feel Voldemort's feelings and even see sometimes through his eyes. Dumbledore was afraid that Voldemort exploits this link because he controls Harry or spies on them through his mind. So he decided to stay away from Harry because he does not attract Voldemort's attention more. He began to avoid direct communication because he does not give Voldemort a chance to use the link against him. The fifth part of the movie ends. The sixth part begins with Harry Potter, and he will be sitting alone in a cafe thinking about everything that happened in the weeks that passed since the death of Sirius. When he looks outside the cafe, he finds Dumbledore standing waiting for him, so he becomes very happy and goes out to him because he wants to see what he wants from him. He notices that Dumbledore's arm has become very black in color, and he will be not understanding the reason. Dumbledore asks him to hold his arm, and as soon as Harry does that, he finds himself suddenly transferred with Dumbledore to a magical city. They enter a house from the houses that exist in the city, and there they meet a professor named Slughorn. We know that he was a teacher in Hogwarts School and specialized in teaching the subject of potions, and he was also a former member in Slytherin House. But he is very kind, unlike most Slytherin members. Dumbledore will be going to visit him, especially because he wants to convince him to return to teach again in Hogwarts School. And his intention was to take Harry with him, because Slughorn gets excited and agrees to return to work again in the school. After many attempts, Slughorn agrees that he returns to work in the school. After that, Dumbledore takes Harry to the Burrow, and when Harry arrives at the Burrow, they all become surprised by his visit, and they go to hug him and greet him. At the same time, Snape will be sitting in his house and becomes surprised by a visit from Narcissa, mother of Draco, and she will be bringing with her her sister Bellatrix. Narcissa will be collapsed and very afraid because her son Draco was assigned by Voldemort a dangerous mission, and this mission might be the reason for his death. Narcissa asks Snape that he protects Draco no matter what happens, and that if Draco fails in executing Voldemort's mission, then Snape intervenes and completes it instead of him. But Bellatrix will be not confident in Snape's intentions, and not sure if he is on their side or on Dumbledore's side, so she makes him swear by a certain vow. This vow is about a strong magic, and if Snape breaks this vow, he dies immediately. This vow consists of 3 promises, and they are that he will help Draco with all his effort, and he will watch Draco and protect him from any harm, and that if Draco cannot execute the mission, then Snape must complete it himself. Snape agrees and swears on the vow, and it will be still not clear if Snape is really a traitor or not, and especially that Snape was an important member in the Death Eaters in the past. The next day, we see Harry and his friends riding the train and going to Hogwarts. And Harry will have noticed that Draco has been behaving strangely for a while, and he will be suspecting that Voldemort made him a member in the Death Eaters. When Harry arrives at the school, he notices that Dumbledore made tight security on the school, so he goes to attend the meeting that is held at the beginning of every new school year. Dumbledore tells them in the meeting that the situation has become dangerous, and that since Voldemort's return, and they must take their caution in the coming period, and because of that, he made tight security on the school. He also introduces them to Professor Slughorn and tells them that he will teach them the subject of potions. The next day, Harry goes to attend the first lesson for Professor Slughorn, but he arrives at the lesson late, and he will be without a book. So Slughorn asks him to go choose any book from the cupboard because he starts the lesson. By chance, Harry chooses a book named The Half-Blood Prince. After that, Slughorn starts the lesson and starts explaining to the students about a magical potion named Love Potion, and says that it is the strongest love potion in the world, and it has a different smell according to the person who smells it. After that, he explains to them about another potion named Luck Potion, and says that the one who drinks this potion will be lucky all day until the effect of the potion disappears. After that, he announces a challenge and asks the students that they try to make a sleeping potion using the potions book that is with them, and the one who succeeds in making it correctly will take a bottle of Luck Potion as a prize. So, Harry opens the Half-Blood Prince book and starts applying the preparation of the potion exactly as written in the book. And the strange thing is that Harry is the only one who can prepare the potion correctly and wins the prize. Night comes, and Dumbledore summons Harry to the office because he wants to show him an old memory related to him. We see Voldemort while he is young in this memory, and he will be in an orphanage in London. And his age has not yet exceeded 10 years, and his appearance will be calm, but his eyes have something strange. Dumbledore goes to visit him in the orphanage because he wants to inform him that he has a chance to enter Hogwarts School. Dumbledore discovers that Voldemort knows how to use magical powers without training and without a wand, and also knows that he punishes the children who annoy him and through dangerous magic. and also can control animals and speaks Parseltongue. Here, Dumbledore notices that this boy has evil tendencies and the idea that he can control his power despite his young age. And it was not natural at all. But he will have hope that he can help him get rid of the evil side inside him. And because of that, he added him to the school. When Harry exits outside the memory, he will be shocked and wants to know more about Voldemort's life. So Dumbledore tells him that Voldemort was one of the smartest students with Slughorn and was very close to him before he knew that he is evil, and asks him to get close to Slughorn because he has important information about Voldemort, and he is the only one who will know how to take this information from him. Indeed, Harry listens to his words and tries to get close to him, but every time he opens in front of him the topic of Voldemort, he becomes nervous and changes the subject. The next day, there will be a Quidditch match. Ron will play for the first time in the team, and he will be anxious and afraid that he loses. So Harry reassures him that he put for him from the luck potion in his drink, and surely he will win. So, of course, Ron becomes very excited and feels confidence in himself and goes to play the match, and he is confident in himself, and his team wins. But in reality, Harry did not put the luck potion for him at all, but he told him that just to encourage him to play the match. At the same time, we see that Draco indeed assigned a dangerous mission from Voldemort, and we see him while he is standing in front of the Vanishing Cabinet, and this is an old magical cabinet. He tries to fix it because he wants to use it as a means to transport people between two places, but it will be still not clear what he wants to transport and where, and he starts using material things on the cabinet because he sees if the process will succeed with him or not. On the day of the Christmas party that is held every year, Harry notices that Draco's behaviors have become increasingly strange every day from the other. After the party ends, Harry goes walking in the corridors and finds Snape talking with Draco, so he eavesdrops on them from afar. And it appears from Draco's words that he is psychologically stressed and tells Snape while he is nervous that he does not need his help and that he will be able to execute the mission alone. But Snape tells him that he will not allow him to harm himself and that he promised his mother that he will protect him, and this is part of the unbreakable vow that he made with Draco's mother. In the holiday, they all gather in the burrow, and Harry sits telling Lupin about Snape and his evil intentions. But Lupin tells him that Dumbledore trusts Snape blindly, and it is impossible that he betrays them. While they are talking, an attack happens on them from the Death Eaters, led by Bellatrix, and she keeps taunting Harry and says in a loud voice that she is the one who killed Sirius, and her intention is to provoke him because he runs after her. Because Ginny has been admiring Harry for a long time, so she cannot leave him and goes after her, and suddenly they find themselves surrounded by Death Eaters, until Lupin and others and the rest of the family arrive at them because they help them. But before Bellatrix leaves, she goes to set fire to Ron Weasley's family house completely, and they all keep looking at the house, and they are affected. The next day, Harry returns to the school and becomes surprised that Dumbledore asked to see him in his office. When he goes to see what he wants, he finds him sitting next to the Pensieve and tells him that he wants to show him a memory for Slughorn. Inside the memory, Harry sees Voldemort while he is still a student in Hogwarts, and he will be sitting with a group of students in a room, and Slughorn sitting with them. And the atmosphere at first will be normal, and they all laugh and joke. After that, Voldemort starts asking Slughorn strange questions about forbidden magic, and as soon as Slughorn hears this talk, he yells at him and tells him that this is dangerous magic, and it is not appropriate to talk about it. And suddenly, the memory ends. Harry exits from the memory, and he is shocked and not understanding anything. So Dumbledore tells him that the memory that he saw is fake, and Slughorn is afraid to say the truth. So he altered the memory. Harry's mission now is to know how to get the real memory from him, because this is the key to understanding the secret of Voldemort's power and how they will be able to defeat him. So Harry goes asking Slughorn what he said long ago to Voldemort when he asked him about the forbidden magic. Here, Slughorn becomes angry and understands immediately that Dumbledore is the one who sent him because he wants to lure him into talking, and he does not agree to tell him anything. The next day, Harry knows that there is a girl who is about to die because she touched a cursed necklace. So he goes to check on this girl because he wants to know who gave her the necklace. But the girl tells him that she does not remember anything from what happened. At this time, Harry looks around him and finds Draco standing alone, and it appears on him severe tension as if he saw a ghost, and he moves with difficulty. So Draco goes to the bathroom and keeps crying like a child. Here, Harry suspects more and feels that Draco has a relation to what happened with this girl. So Harry goes after Draco to the bathroom and finds him standing crying. Harry enters to confront him and tells him that he knows that he is behind everything that is happening. So Draco becomes surprised and nervous and pulls out his magical wand quickly, and a violent magical fight occurs between them. In the middle of the clashes, Harry uses a powerful spell that he learned from the Half-Blood Prince book and throws this spell on Draco. So Draco falls on the ground and his body bleeds, and blood comes out from his chest and from his stomach. Harry will be shocked by what he did until Snape arrives at the right moment and saves him and treats all his injuries through a certain spell. The next day, Harry decides to drink the luck potion because he wants to know the secret that Slughorn is hiding from them. As soon as he drinks this potion, he feels a very good feeling, and this feeling tells him to go to Hagrid, but on the way, he meets Slughorn, and who tells him that it is not appropriate to go at a late time like this to Hagrid. So Harry asks him to come with him. They go together to Hagrid and find him sad about the death of his giant spider that he was raising. So they gather around him and make a funeral for the spider. After the funeral, they all go to Hagrid's house and keep joking and laughing, and the decisive moment comes. Slughorn tells Harry, while he is affected, that he indeed was afraid to say the truth because people do not hate him. But they know that what he did was against his will because he did not know that Voldemort's intentions are evil. But the time has come because he frees himself from the truth that was tiring his life. Slughorn gives the real memory because he sees it. So quickly Harry goes to see the real memory with Dumbledore. The memory begins when Voldemort was still a student in Hogwarts, but his appearance will be clear on him evil and high intelligence. We see him, and he enters Slughorn's room after the lesson and asks him about forbidden magic named Horcrux. So Slughorn becomes nervous and asks him how he knows this magic. So he tells him that he read about it in the library. Slughorn tells him that this magic is about magic that can make the person split his soul and preserve a part of it in any material thing, because he ensures that he does not die or get killed because his soul will be preserved, and because he makes a Horcrux. He must kill a person and must use very dark magic because he imprisons a part of his soul in a material thing like a necklace or a ring or a book, and the object that will be put in it, the part of the soul will be protected, and anyone who approaches it might be affected by the evil that exists in it. When Voldemort hears this talk, his eyes shine and asks him if a person can make 7 of the Horcruxes. And of course, Slughorn becomes shocked by his question and tells him that this magic is completely forbidden because this means that he must kill 7 people, and asks him to stop talking about this topic and not think about it. When Harry and Dumbledore exit from the memory, they will be in a state of astonishment. And Dumbledore tells Harry that he now only understood what Voldemort did, but he did not expect that he split his soul into 7 pieces and put them in 7 Horcruxes. And this is the reason that he does not die easily. He tells him that they indeed destroyed 2 of the Horcruxes, and the first was Tom Riddle's diary, and the second was the ring Dumbledore, who destroyed it himself. And this ring belongs to one of Voldemort's ancestors, and they must destroy the rest of the Horcruxes because Voldemort dies forever. After that, Dumbledore tells Harry that he needs him with him this night in a secret mission, and tells him that this mission will be dangerous. They travel together through apparition to a dark and strange place, and which will be a cave on the sea. Dumbledore tells him that Voldemort hid this place while he is young, and because of that, he is sure that he hid a certain thing here. They keep walking in the cave until they find a basin in front of them, existing in it the Horcrux, and Dumbledore must drink all the enchanted water that is in the basin, because the Horcrux appears to him and warns him that this water will make him suffer and will weaken his power, and he will not be able to complete it. Harry's mission is that he makes him drink all the water forcibly, and indeed, Harry does that until the Horcrux appears, and they take it, and the Horcrux will be about a locket. After that, they return to the school, and Dumbledore will be very tired, and his power weak. As soon as they arrive, they hear a strange sound, so Dumbledore asks Harry to hide and not come out ever, no matter what happens. Harry keeps watching what is happening from below, and he is hiding. Dumbledore becomes surprised by Draco entering on him and raising his wand on him because he kills him. And it becomes clear here that Draco was using the Vanishing Cabinet because he can enter the Death Eaters to the school because they help him in eliminating Dumbledore. We return to Draco, and he is standing in front of Dumbledore, and he is collapsed from crying and tells him that he must kill him and shows him his arm that is tattooed on it the mark of the Death Eaters. We see that Draco from inside does not want to kill him, but he is forced to that because Voldemort will kill him if he does not kill Dumbledore. But Dumbledore tells him that he is not a killer and informs him that he can protect him if he chooses, that he stays away from the path that he is walking in. So Draco keeps holding his wand, and he is collapsed from crying, and he will be not knowing how to act. But at the same moment, Snape arrives at them, and then Dumbledore looks at him with a very strange look, and they too only understand it. Before any one of them speaks, Snape pulls out his wand and throws the Avada Kedavra curse on Dumbledore, and he dies immediately. Harry will be watching the situation from afar and shocked, and not believing that Snape turned out a traitor, and not comprehending that he will not see Dumbledore again. After that, the Death Eaters go out running in the school, and they are happy that they killed Dumbledore, and they destroy the school completely. After that, the whole school gathers around Dumbledore's body, and they are collapsed from crying. Harry approaches Dumbledore's body, and he is at the peak of his sadness and rage and keeps crying like a small child. At this moment, McGonagall raises her magical wand to the sky, and after that, all the teachers and students raise their wands also to the sky in complete silence. And this as a kind of final salute and respect to Dumbledore. This shows how much people loved Dumbledore, because he was like their father or their leader. And he was a very wise man and loves good for all people. After that, Harry goes out running after Snape, and he is angry and asks him how he betrayed his friend and killed him after he trusted him. Harry uses on him a spell he learned from the Half-Blood Prince book, but Snape avoids the spell and approaches him and tells him that this spell is his because he is the Half-Blood Prince owner of the book originally. Snape leaves him and goes with the Death Eaters. The next day, Harry calms a little, but he will be still sad and affected by Dumbledore. When he and his friends open the Horcrux that they found, he discovers that it is fake, and there will be inside it a message written in it that the real Horcrux with RAB, and the sixth part of the film ends. The seventh part of the film begins with Voldemort, and he sits with the Death Eaters in the Malfoy family palace, and they talk about the plan to kill Harry. In that moment, he kills one who was a teacher at Hogwarts in front of everyone, and this is a type of terror and intimidation displayed in front of those present, just because she supports that the wizards who have Muggle blood have the right to learn magic. After that, we see the Harry family, and they gather their things, and they leave the house because the Death Eaters have become killing any person belonging to the wizards, and they killed a very large number from the Muggle families. Hermione becomes very afraid that her family dies because of her, so she decides to take the most difficult decision in her life, and she casts the Oblivion spell on her mother and her father so that they forget, basically, that they have a daughter. After that, she leaves the house and she walks, and she is heartbroken from inside her. We return to Harry, and he gathers his things from the house so that he leaves, and he bids farewell to his aunt's house for the last time. In that moment, he is surprised by the arrival of his friends, the Order of the Phoenix, at him led by Moody, and he meets new members of the group like Bill Weasley, Ron's older brother, and his fiancée Fleur, and also a dealer named Mundungus. Moody tells Harry that they came here so that they help him, so that he escapes without him being harmed, because Voldemort planned to kill him at any moment. Moody makes 7 from the Order of the Phoenix drink the Polyjuice potion, and they transform into 7 persons in Harry's exact shape, so that Voldemort does not know to attack the real Harry. After that, each one rides on his flying broom, and they begin their journey in the escape. During the escape, the Death Eaters attack them in the sky, and a violent battle occurs. With deep regret, Moody gets killed during the battle, and also Harry's owl gets killed. After the battle, they all arrive at Ron's family house, and they all are in a state of shock after Moody's death. Of course, Harry feels very strong guilt because the people around him die so that they protect him, so he decides in that moment that he does not allow anyone else to die because of him, and he decides to escape so that he searches for the Horcruxes alone. Before he escapes, Ron sees him, and he stops him, and he tells him that he will not allow him to do this dangerous mission alone, and he informs him that he and Hermione will help him so that he finds the Horcruxes after his brother Bill and Fleur's wedding party. The next day, we see them prepare for the wedding party. At that time, the new Minister of Magic arrives at them, whose name is Rufus, and he comes especially so that he meets Harry and Ron and Hermione, and he hands them the things that Dumbledore left them in his will before he dies. It is clear that the minister is not happy with what he does, and he was hesitant in handing them these things. The first thing, he hands Hermione an old children's book. After that, he hands Ron a magical tool named Deluminator. He can through it so that he pulls the lights that surround him. Finally, he hands Harry the first snitch ball he won in the first Quidditch match he played, and he is young. Also, they know that Dumbledore wanted to hand him Gryffindor's sword, but the sword is missing. It is clear like this that Dumbledore intended to hand them these things specifically because they will help them in the coming mission, but it is still not clear what the role of these things in their coming mission. At night, Bill's wedding party begins, and we see all the wizards gathered there. By chance, Harry sees Luna and her father, so he goes to greet them, and he notices that Luna's father wears a necklace. Its shape is very strange, but he does not put the subject in his mind. After that, Harry goes to greet Elphias, the editor-in-chief of the Wizards newspaper, and he continues to talk with him about Dumbledore, because they were friends. Elphias tells him that Dumbledore has a brother named Aberforth, and no one knew this subject except few people. Harry notices that his speech has a strange tone similar to defense about Dumbledore, and there was something not understood in the past. The editor-in-chief knows that there are people who began to doubt Dumbledore's integrity after his death, and especially after an article was published in the newspaper about him. In the middle of the talk, an old witch enters, and she tells Harry that Dumbledore's mother killed a large number of humans long ago. After what happened, she took her family, and they moved to another city. By chance, this is the same city that Harry's father and mother were killed in. The witch continues her speech, and she tells Harry to search for a historian named Bathilda, and this historian made many books in magic so that he understands more about the past. During the wedding party, a message arrives to them, and they know from it that the Minister of Magic was killed by the Death Eaters, and the entire ministry fell. Currently, the Ministry of Magic has become controlled by the Death Eaters. Suddenly, an attack from the Death Eaters happens on the wedding party, and they begin to kill the people. Quickly, Lupin makes Harry and Ron and Hermione escape, and they travel by apparition to London. There, the three of them go to sit in a cafe so that they calm a little. After that, Harry and his friends go to hide in Sirius Black's house. When Harry takes a tour in the house, he finds Bathilda's magic book. Also, they discover that R.A.B., whose name was written in the letter and who stole the real Horcrux, turns out to be Sirius Black's brother. In this meantime, the genie special to Sirius enters upon them, and it is clear that he has dangerous information regarding the Horcrux, but he is not willing to say it. Harry and his friends pressure him until the genie confesses that Sirius Black's brother was a former member in the Death Eaters group. But when he knew the truth of the Horcruxes and that Voldemort uses them so that he makes himself immortal, he decided to betray him and tried to destroy one of them. Indeed, he went with the genie to the place that has the Horcrux and took the real necklace that has the Horcrux. But he died after that, and he tries to escape. After that, the dealer Mundungus stole the real necklace after Sirius Black's death. Harry asks the genie to go to bring Mundungus now immediately, and indeed, the genie goes to bring him. Also, Dobby goes with him so that he helps him. After that, Harry knows from Mundungus that he stole the necklace and sold it to Umbridge, and currently Umbridge holds a big position in the Ministry of Magic. The next day, the ministry turns upside down when one of the Death Eaters takes the position of Minister of Magic, and the new minister decides that he follows Harry's picture in every place on the basis that he is from the Wanted, so that if any person saw him, he reports about him. At this time, Harry and Ron and Hermione plan so that they enter the ministry and steal the necklace from Umbridge. So they drug 3 from the ministry employees, and they drink the polyjuice potion so that they transform into their shapes, and they can enter the ministry without anyone recognizes them. On this day, Umbridge is judging 6 from the wizards just because their families are from the Muggles. So they enter, with her, the trial. Harry notices that Umbridge wears the necklace that has the Horcrux, so he waits for the appropriate moment. After that, he attacks her with a spell, and quickly he steals from her the necklace. And he runs out, he and his friends. The problem here that the effect of the polyjuice potion has disappeared, and they three return to their natural shapes. Of course, as soon as the people see Harry in the Ministry, they run after him so that they arrest him. Quickly, Harry and Ron and Hermione use their magic, and they travel by apparition to a far and abandoned forest. During the apparition process, Ron gets a severe injury in his shoulder, so Hermione uses a magical mixture, and she treats him the injury. After that, they try to destroy the Horcrux, but they fail in all the attempts. And they are surprised and do not know why this Horcrux does not want to be destroyed. Harry wears the necklace, and at that time he sees Voldemort's vision, and he tortures the owner of the magic wand shop so that he knows from him the location of the strongest magic wand in the world. But the shop owner informs him that the wand was stolen. Voldemort wants to steal this wand so that he kills Harry with it, and this because his wand and Harry's wand are made from the same material. And it is not possible that they fight with it because their power will be equal, and no one of them will be defeated. Hermione notices that Harry has become very nervous and violent since he wore the necklace. So she understands immediately that the evil power that in the necklace began to control him, so she asks him to take it off. Ron takes the necklace, and he wears it, and unfortunately, the anger controls him. And he accuses Harry and Hermione that they ignore him and do not want to share him in anything. Ron decides that he leaves them and walks. While Hermione is reading in the children's book, she discovers that the necklace will be destroyed only by using the missing Gryffindor's sword. After a long period, Hermione finds in the book a symbol. Its shape is strange, and she knows that Dumbledore is the one who drew this symbol. When Harry comes to look at the symbol, he finds it the same symbol of the necklace that Xenophilius, Luna's father, was wearing in the wedding party. On Christmas night, Harry travels with Hermione to the city that his father and mother were killed in, and they go to visit his mother's and father's grave. Suddenly, they find Bathilda appeared beside them, and this is the famous historian who knew Dumbledore from long ago. But the strange that this lady did not speak at all, but she made them certain signs and told them to come with her to the house. Harry felt that she might have information about the Horcrux, so he decided to go after her. When they enter the house, Harry goes up alone, and the lady is walking in front of him slowly. Suddenly, she approaches him in a scary way, and her face changes suddenly, and she transforms into Nagini, Voldemort's snake. It turns out basically that Bathilda has been dead for a long time, and that Voldemort sent Nagini to Harry so that she kills him. Suddenly, the snake comes out from the lady's body and attacks Harry and drops the wand from him. But Hermione and Harry run upstairs, and they use a spell so that they escape from the place, and they move to another forest, and they hide in it. The problem here that Harry's wand has been broken during the attack, so he is forced to use Hermione's wand. Harry remembers that he, when he was in Bathilda's house, saw a picture of a strange man he does not know him, and Harry continued to ask himself who this man is until Hermione told him that this man, his name is Grindelwald. And this was Dumbledore's close friend long ago, and he is one of the most dangerous evil wizards, and he is the same who stole the wand from the wand maker. At night, we see that Harry and Hermione decided to camp in the forest, and Harry continues to guard the place outside while Hermione is sleeping in the tent. While Harry is sitting alone, and he sees a white light hovering around him, and a Patronus appears in the shape of a silver doe. This Patronus is a spell that protects from the Dementors, unlike all the black magic spells, because real light is formed in the form of positive feelings and safety, and every wizard has a special Patronus. But what Harry is surprised about, that there is someone who sent him his Patronus, so that he guides him to the right path, and he does not know who the person who sent him the Patronus. The important that after that, Harry begins to walk behind the doe until the doe stops under frozen ice. So Harry hits the ice that under the doe, and he finds Gryffindor's sword thrown in the pond under the water. So he tries to pull the sword, but the Horcrux activates and strangles him under the water to the degree that he is about to die. In that moment, Ron appears and saves Harry, and they take the sword and destroy the Horcrux necklace. After that, Ron and Harry go to inform Hermione that they destroyed the Horcrux finally, and that Ron is the one who destroyed it himself. the sword appeared to Ron, and he was the chosen in that moment so that he destroys the Horcrux. Hermione is very angry with him because he left them and walked, and she asks him how he knew to reach them anyway. So Ron tells her that he heard her voice through the tool that Dumbledore left him in the will, and this tool made him hear the voice and was able to take him to the place that his friends are in. It turns out here that Dumbledore intended to give this tool specifically to Ron so that he can reach his friends through it. After that, Ron gives Harry a magic wand. He stole it from someone so that he uses it instead of his wand that broke. After a period, they three decide to go to visit Xenophilius, Luna's father, so that they know the meaning of the symbol that in his necklace. When they arrive at Xenophilius, they begin to ask him about the meaning of the symbol that in the necklace. So Hermione interrupts their speech, and she says that she saw this symbol in the children's book that she took from Dumbledore. Xenophilius tells them calmly that these are the signs of the Deathly Hallows, and this is the symbol that represents 3 supernatural things. And they are the Elder Wand and the stone that returns the dead to life, whose name is the Resurrection Stone, and the Invisibility Cloak that makes people disappear like the one with Harry. He begins to draw them the symbol on the paper, and the vertical line that in the symbol represents the Elder Wand, and it is the strongest wand in the world. And the circle that in the middle of the symbol represents the Resurrection Stone, and the triangle represents the Invisibility Cloak. Hermione tells them the story of the Deathly Hallows exists in the children's book that Dumbledore left her. And the story says that there are 3 very strong wizard brothers, and they decided that they cross a dangerous river. All the people were drowning in it, but they used magic and crossed without drowning. When they reached the other side, suddenly a strange and terrifying person appeared to them. And the person who appeared to them, this was Death himself. Death was very surprised that they crossed without dying, so he decided to give each one of them a magical gift, but the gifts were not natural at all. The older brother asked for the strongest magic wand in the world, and Death made him a wand named the Elder Wand. But unfortunately, someone killed him and stole the wand from him. The second brother asked for a stone. He can return with it his beloved from Death. So Death gave him a stone named the Resurrection Stone. But she was strange and sad and did not want to return to life again. So the brother got upset and died so that he goes to her. The third brother was the smartest one of them, so he asked for a cloak that makes him hide even from Death himself, and Death gave it to him. This brother lived a long life, and he was hiding from Death whenever he wants. When he grew old, he handed the cloak to his son, and handed himself to Death calmly and peacefully. If someone can collect these 3 things, he will not fear Death, and he will know to face anything and anyone. But the most important, he must understand the meaning of life and real death. And at that time, he will be called the Master of Death. And this is not because he is the strongest one, but we will know to live. And he will know when to hand himself to Death with dignity. After that, they notice that Xenophilius is nervous and does not want to let them leave the house. So Xenophilius confesses to Harry that the Death Eaters kidnapped his daughter Luna. And this after the article that he wrote about Harry, and he was supporting him in it. And he apologizes to Harry, and he is crying. They know that the Death Eaters are coming now so that they take him, because he has only Luna, his daughter, in this whole world. And they promised him that they will return his daughter to him if he hands Harry. Suddenly, an attack from the Death Eaters happens upon them. So quickly, Harry and Ron and Hermione use apparition, and they return to the forest. But from their bad luck that they meet the followers of the evil minister, so they run from them. While Harry is running, he sees Voldemort's vision, and he asks a prisoner in Azkaban about the location of the strongest magic wand in the world. So the prisoner surprises him that this wand belongs to Dumbledore, and that they buried it with him after he died. Here, Harry realizes that Voldemort is searching for all the Deathly Hallows so that he collects them. In this moment, Hermione casts a spell on Harry so that she changes his shape, and the minister's followers cannot recognize him. When the minister's followers see Harry in his new shape, they are surprised, and they are also suspicious that he is Harry. So they change the plan, and instead of taking him to the ministry, they decide to take him or his friends to the Malfoy family palace. There, Bellatrix is present, and the Death Eaters ask Draco to look at Harry's face and say if this is Harry really or not. Draco knows that the person standing in front of him is Harry, but he denies in front of them that he is Harry, and it is clear that Draco really has goodness inside him, but he is forced to all that he does. When Bellatrix sees Gryffindor's sword with them, she gets very angry, and she orders them to imprison Ron and Harry in the dungeon and leave her with Hermione. And she continues to torture her cruelly to the degree that her voice and she screams bothers them all. Of course, Harry and Ron do not know how to act until suddenly Dobby appears to them. So Harry asks him what he does here. So Dobby tells him that he came to save him because he is in danger. Dobby takes Luna, who is imprisoned with them in the same dungeon, she and another person, and he escapes them to a safe place. After that, Harry and Ron come out from the dungeon, and they attack the Death Eaters with the magic wands. In this moment, Dobby returns again, and he takes them, and he travels with them by apparition. But in the same moment, Bellatrix throws at them a poisoned dagger. After seconds, Harry and his group find themselves in front of the beach house. And they all are fine except Dobby because he is injured, and he falls on the ground. So Harry runs to him, and he takes him in his embrace, and he asks him not to fear because he will not die. And he tells him that Hermione is clever in the spells, and surely she will find a suitable spell so that she makes him live. Hermione unfortunately does not know any spell can help him, and he in this state, so Dobby looks in Harry Potter's eyes with all love. And he tells him that he is happy that he will die among his friends, and the people that he loved their love, and happier more that they are friends. Because of him, he became free, and no longer subject to the masters. And he tells him that he will die now, but he is reassured because he will die in the embrace of the most person he loves. Unfortunately, seconds do not pass, and Dobby dies immediately, so Harry collapses from crying, and he takes him in his embrace. After that, he decides to bury Dobby in respect for his memory because he loved Dobby the loyal to him all the time and always was ready to sacrifice his soul in redemption. In another place, we see Voldemort opens Dumbledore's grave and he steals from it his magic wand. And this is the strongest magic wand in the world. The 7th part of the film ends. The 8th and final part of the film begins with Voldemort, and he takes control of one of the Deathly Hallows, which is Dumbledore's wand, and which is the strongest wand in the world of magic. Snape appears, and he stands in the school at the moment of the student's entry, and this after he became the headmaster of the school in place of Dumbledore. We notice that there is a state of emergency in the school, and the Dementor guards are spread everywhere. As we saw before, Dobby helps Harry and his friends so that they escape from Bellatrix's place again, and this place becomes the house of Fleur and Bill. We see Harry, and he is at Dobby's grave, and he bids him farewell with all sadness. After that, Harry enters the house and meets the goblin whose name is Griffook and who saved him from Bellatrix. Harry asks Griffook that he helps them so that they enter the bank and open Bellatrix's vault, and this because Harry is sure that there is a Horcrux piece present in the vault. At that time, Griffook sees Gryffindor's sword with Harry, so Griffook agrees that he helps him, but on the condition that he gives him the sword that is with him. Harry is forced to agree, but after he finds the Horcrux. After that, Harry meets the wand seller whose name is Ollivander, and he gives him Bellatrix's wand and Draco's wand, and he asks him which of them is the strongest. He tells him that Draco's wand is the best for him because its allegiance changed and became Harry's allegiance because he defeated Draco and took it from him. After that, Hermione finds a hair from Bellatrix that was present on her body, so she performs a spell and transforms her shape to the exact same shape of Bellatrix. She goes to the bank with Griffook and Ron and Harry. At that time, Harry hides under the invisibility cloak with Griffook, and Hermione enters with Ron to the bank manager, and she asks him to take her to the vault. The manager asks her to show him her wand, so Hermione gets nervous because the wand is not with her at all. At that time, the manager feels that there is something wrong, so Harry intervenes and performs a spell on the bank manager and makes him agree to take them to the vault place. They all enter a secret place under the bank until they reach the vault place, and they find a dragon guarding it. Griffook helps them so that they pass in front of the dragon without harming them. After that, they enter the vault easily. At that time, Harry keeps searching for the Horcrux piece, and he notices that there is a cup placed in a special place inside the vault, so he understands that this is the Horcrux. He approaches to take it, but Hermione touches something in the vault, and she is surprised that there is a spell that Bellatrix made to protect the vault. The things keep multiplying until they fill the whole place. At that time, it becomes difficult for Harry to reach the cup, but Harry exerts great effort until he takes the cup in the last moment. Griffook takes the cup from Harry and refuses to give it unless he takes the sword first, according to the agreement that was between them. So Harry gives him the sword and takes the cup from him. As soon as he takes the sword, he escapes from the place quickly. Harry and his colleagues exit the vault so that they leave, and they are surprised at that time that security is coming to arrest them. Hermione acts quickly and rides on the dragon's back and calls Harry and Ron so that they ride with her. After that, she frees the dragon, and they escape quickly from the bank. The dragon keeps flying with them in the air until they jump and descend into the sea. In the moment when Harry is under the water, he sees a certain vision, and this vision shows Voldemort, and he is angry after he knew that Harry invaded the bank and stole the Horcrux. From the intensity of Voldemort's anger, he kills all the bank employees, and among them, Griffook. Because of Griffook's death, the sword disappears. Harry sees in this vision a woman named Rowena, and she is a dead one, but she is one of the founders of the magic school. So Harry understands that the fifth Horcrux is present in the school. When they come out of the water, Harry tells Hermione and Ron about the vision that he saw and tells them that they must go to the school. The problem is that they cannot enter the school because Snape is there. So they decide to enter the school through a secret passage in Hogsmeade until they find an unknown person who helps them and enters them into his house. At that time, Hermione notices that there is a mirror that shows Harry's image, and this mirror has a broken part of it, and this part is with Harry. Here, the person who helped them appears, and who is Dumbledore's brother, and his name is Aberforth. At that time, Harry knows that Aberforth is the one who sent them Dobby, and with him the broken part of the mirror. Harry knows that Aberforth took this mirror from Sirius. Here, Harry asks Aberforth about the girl who is present in the painting on the wall, so Aberforth tells him that this is their sister Ariana. They know that Dumbledore sacrificed her so that he reaches the great power. Harry tells him that they are on a mission that Dumbledore assigned them before he died and asks him to help them so that they complete the mission. Aberforth looks at the picture and asks Ariana to do what is necessary, so Ariana moves and disappears from the picture. After moments, Ariana returns, and the picture moves from its place. At that time, Neville appears from behind it and takes them with him, and they walk inside the secret passage. He tells them that this passage he and a group of students made so that they help them in entering and exiting the school without any of the guards seeing them. After that, they reach a room where a number of students who refuse Voldemort's policy are gathered. As soon as they see Harry in front of them, they become very happy. At that time, Harry tells them that he reached 4 of the Horcruxes and tells them that the 5th is present in the school. The problem is that he does not know what its shape is or even where its place is, and all he knows is that it has a relation to a woman named Rowena. Here, Luna tells them that Rowena has a diadem, but it was lost long ago, so Harry guesses that this diadem is the 5th Horcrux. Suddenly, Ginny enters upon them and tells them that Snape knew about Harry's presence in the school. At this time, Snape gathers all the school students and tells them that he knows that Harry is present in the school and warns them that any one of them who helps him will be punished very severely. Suddenly, Harry exits from among the students, and at the same time, the Order of the Phoenix arrives. At that time, Harry confronts Snape and asks him to say in front of the students why he killed Dumbledore after he trusted him. But Snape does not answer him and draws the wand to attack him. McGonagall intervenes and defends Harry and fights Snape. The strange thing is that Snape blocks her attacks only and refuses to attack her. After that, he escapes in the same style of the Death Eaters. In this moment, Harry falls to the ground, and all the students scream because Voldemort penetrated their minds and tells them to surrender Harry within an hour, or else he will destroy the whole school with what is in it. After Voldemort's voice disappears, McGonagall asks Harry about the reason for his presence, so he tells her that he is searching for the Horcrux and needs time so that he finds it and destroys it. McGonagall tells him that she will help him and asks one named Filch to take the students to a safe place. After that, She makes a protective shield and a group of professors around the school and summons a group of guards made of rocks so that they protect the school. Harry knows from Ron and Hermione that they will go to the Chamber of Secrets so that they bring from there a fang from the fangs of the snake that Harry killed long ago. And this so that they use it instead of the sword and destroy the cup that they brought from the vault. Harry agrees and leaves them and goes to Rowena's room so that he searches for the diadem in the hope that it is the Horcrux piece. At that time, Luna sees Harry and goes after him and tells him that he will not find the diadem because no one knows its place except Helena, daughter of Rowena. She tells him that she will help him and make him talk to Helena's ghost and know from her the diadem's place. Harry, when he talks to Helena, daughter of Rowena, about the diadem, she gets upset and tells him that someone deceived her after he knew from her the diadem's place and performed on it dark magic rituals. So Harry promises her that he will destroy the diadem. In this moment, Voldemort arrives at the school with a large army of Death Eaters. At that time, they strike the protective shield so that they destroy it. So Harry asks Helena to tell him the diadem's place before it is too late. She tells him that the diadem is present in a secret room inside the school, named the Room of Requirement. At this time, Ron and Hermione arrive at the Chamber of Secrets, and Ron speaks the snake language that Harry taught him and opens the room's door. After that, they enter and take the snake's fang and destroy the cup. In this moment, Voldemort feels the Horcrux's destruction, so he uses Dumbledore's wand and destroys the school's shield. After that, he orders his army to attack the school so that they destroy it. It appears at that time that Voldemort has many followers from humans and from giants. After that, Ron and Hermione see on the map that Harry is present in the Room of Requirement. We go to Harry, who searches for the diadem inside the room until he finds it. But before he destroys it, Draco appears, and two of his colleagues. At that time, Ron comes and attacks Draco, who is with him, so they escape from him, but he goes after them so that he destroys them. One of Draco's colleagues performs a fire spell and fails to extinguish it, so the fire starts spreading everywhere around them. One of Draco's colleagues falls in it and dies, while Harry and Ron and Hermione find magic brooms and fly with them and succeed in rescuing Draco and his colleague, who is with him. As soon as they exit the room, Harry uses the snake's fang and destroys the diadem. Here, Voldemort feels the diadem's destruction and starts to weaken and hides the snake that is with him so that he keeps it safe. At that time, Harry sees all this through a vision, so he understands that the snake is the last Horcrux. Ron asks Harry to penetrate Voldemort's mind and know where his place is so that they go after him and destroy the last Horcrux. Indeed, Harry succeeds in determining Voldemort's place, and who at that time is talking to Snape and tells him that Dumbledore's wand does not give him the full power. And this because the wand's allegiance is to Snape, because he is the last one who killed Dumbledore. At that time, Voldemort kills Snape so that the wand's allegiance becomes his only. After Voldemort leaves, Harry and his colleagues arrive, and Harry tries to save Snape from death, but without benefit. Snape tells him to take tears because in them are his memories, and tells him that when he sees his memories, he will understand everything. After that, Snape dies. Suddenly, Harry and his colleagues hear Voldemort's voice in their heads, and he says at that time that he will make his followers withdraw from the battle, and asks Harry to meet him in the dark forest before midnight. But if this does not happen, he will return with his forces again and finish off anyone still alive in the school. When Harry and his colleagues return to the school, they are shocked by the size of the destruction that happened, not to mention that there is a large number of students and teachers who died during the battle. Harry quickly goes up to Dumbledore's room and brings out the memory reader and puts in it Snape's tears. Through Snape's memories, we know that he and Lily Harry's mother were friends since they were still children. It appears that Snape loved her, but she fell in love with James, who used to bully Snape and always tried to embarrass him in front of Lily. When they grew up, Lily agreed to marry James, and from that time, Snape refused to marry any woman other than her. It appears in the memories that Snape begs Dumbledore to find a solution because Voldemort intends to kill Lily and James and their son Harry, and this because Lily and James were fighting Voldemort and wanted to rid the world of his evil. But Dumbledore fails, and Voldemort succeeds in killing Lily and James. Snape blames himself because he could not protect them. They know that their son Harry is still alive, and that Voldemort failed to kill him because Lily had made a magic barrier on Harry. Because of this barrier, the spell rebounded on Voldemort, And at that time, a part of Voldemort's soul came out and entered inside Harry's body. This is the reason that Harry can speak the snake language and that he can penetrate Voldemort's mind and communicate with him. From that time, Snape decided to risk his life every day to protect Harry from Voldemort. After that, Dumbledore was cursed, and this during trying to return his sister Ariana from death. He tells Snape that he has 1 year left and he will die, and thus the wand's power will be his instead of being with you. The problem is that Snape knows from Dumbledore that a day will come and he must get rid of Harry, because Harry, after a part of Voldemort's soul entered him, turned into a Horcrux. So Snape collapses when he knows that Harry will die. Here the memories end, and Harry is surprised by what Snape did for him. He returns to Ron and Hermione and bids them farewell and decides to go surrender himself to Voldemort so that he kills him and stops killing the school students who have no sin. While he is on the way, he brings out the golden ball that has the resurrection stone inside it, and it is written on it that it will open when you are ready for death. Harry brings it close to his mouth and says that he is ready, so the ball opens, and the resurrection stone comes out of it. Harry holds it in his hand, and at that time the souls of his mother and father appear to him. Harry apologizes to them because he could not kill Voldemort, so they tell him that they are not upset with him and that he did what he had to do. After that, Harry goes to the dark forest to confront Voldemort. When he arrives, he finds Hagrid tied with ropes and under the control of Voldemort's followers. Hagrid screams at Harry and asks him to leave this place immediately, but Harry does not listen to him and stands in front of Voldemort. Quickly, Voldemort kills Harry with the death spell and asks Narcissa Draco's mother to go confirm that Harry really died. When Narcissa approaches Harry, he is still alive, so she asks him if her son Draco is still alive too. Harry nods his head, and at that time, Narcissa understands that her son is still alive, so she lies to Voldemort and tells him that Harry is finally dead. At that time, Harry enters the world of unconsciousness and sees a strange creature dying. Suddenly, Dumbledore appears to him and tells him that this is the part that was inside him from Voldemort's soul. Harry knows at that time that Voldemort killed the Horcrux with his hand, but Harry's soul is still present inside his body. Harry asks him how he will return to life again, especially since the Deathly Hallows are not with him, so Dumbledore tells him that when he returns to the school, he will find help there. After that, Hagrid appears, and he is carrying Harry in his arms and walking with Voldemort and his army. As soon as they arrive at the school, Voldemort announces Harry's death and also announces the end of the war and asks everyone to join his army. At that time, Draco approaches to join Voldemort, and Voldemort welcomes him. After that, Neville advances to join Voldemort, but he stops suddenly and mocks him. It turns out that Neville found Gryffindor's sword. In this moment, Harry wakes up, and the war turns again between the Death Eaters and the wizards. But this time, the wizards can confront Voldemort's followers with all their strength, not to mention that a large number of Voldemort's followers feared and escaped. At that time, Lucius and Narcissa take their son Draco and escape too. Inside the school, Ron's mother decides to fight Bellatrix and finishes her off, while Harry engages with Voldemort in a fierce fight. At the same time, the snake attacks Ron and Hermione, but Neville arrives at the right time and cuts off the snake's head. Here, Voldemort's power weakens in front of Harry, and Harry can finish him off and destroy him. At that time, Dumbledore's wand returns to Harry. After that, Harry returns to his friends and reassures that they are fine, and they are all happy because evil is finally over forever. After that, Harry talks with Ron and Hermione alone and tells them that he does not need Dumbledore's wand and breaks it and throws it. So they are surprised because the wand would have granted him full power. Harry approaches them and stands beside each other, so they understand at that time that the true power is their friendship. 19 years pass, and at that time we see Harry after he married Ginny, and they had a boy and a girl. We know that Harry named his son after Dumbledore and Snape. They are at the train station because Harry's son will join the magic school. At the same time, it appears that Ron and Hermione married, and they have 2 children too. At that time, they bid farewell to their daughter, who will join the magic school with Harry Potter's son. The last part of the series ends. We meet in a new recap. Thank you for watching.